Good morning, party people. We've got about 30 seconds until this thing kicks off, and I am ready for it. Honkai Star Rail's newest reveal in the live stream. We're getting closer and closer to that 2.0 version of the crossover with Fate. Every single version that releases, so here we go. We're going to start with the Blade expansion, so I know that's got a lot of people excited. Oh, how nice of Perlux Corp.
From the very beginning, Himeko never left Plain Arcadia.
I summon Graphia, mother of Imogenesis. May she come forth and deliver us into the world in canvas.
Blade, you sure about this?
Whether as Yingxing or as Blade, my journey has reached its end. I shall take veracity as my forge, and abundance as my iron. Die 1,000 deaths. Be transferred into a blade! Let our undying flesh be the iron, and let death, 1,000 times over, be the hammer. Are you ready to turn your vengeance against your god?
Just as you suspected, there is a 52% probability that Mr. Ryusuke was being used by Asat Pramod.
If the world's end isn't the tavern, then what is it?
Come forth. Demonstrate your defiance.
Whether we chose this path or were forced onto it, leave no room for regret.
O denizens of this Arcadia, lost in its splendor, it was I, Asat Pramod, who delivered every promise of beauty to this Arcadia in advance. Now, please indulge in these long overdue surprises.
There was a lot going on there. Alright, we got our first code of the day right there. Yeah, holy cow, there was a lot going on there.
And whether or not your world has a day-night cycle, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the Honkai Star Rail version 4.3, the Lethe Below the Living special program. I'm your favorite host, Albert.
Great vibes right from the start!
It's been a while, Albert. I thought you'd completely forgotten about showing up to work properly.
Tell me about it. Anyway, let's have our guest say hello to everyone.
Hi everyone, I'm Evanesia.
I thought she was taking a big nap.
I am Yao Guang. It is an honor to join you all today.
Blade.
Welcome to our three guests. The differences in your personalities really came through in those self-introductions.
Then, let's cut to the chase. I'm getting quite impatient.
Go right ahead, Madam Yao.
Last version, we finally put a stop to the crisis caused by Full Wish for the time being. But from the looks of it, things are only going to get messier.
Let's start with the scariest part. The mastermind behind Full Wish, Lord Ravager Asat Pramod, has officially made his entrance.
On top of that, there's an earth-shattering secret sealed away in plain Arcadia.
The divine husk of the Eon, presiding over hunger and thirst. The Veracity.
That's right. According to the databank, the Veracity exists as both an Eon and a Leviathan. They're more like a black hole that can think, said to possess the power to swallow up entire galaxies.
Even though they haven't made any moves for now, and we have no idea why they were sealed here, the divine husk is essentially a ticking time bomb.
I mean, it seems pretty obvious that a
Blade also
specific
absorbed the
detective
flesh
had
of
something
Shuhu
to do with it
that was
too, though.
inside the 200,000 Joy Ascendants into his own body.
We need to handle this properly, both for the sake of Blade's mental state and to keep the flesh out of Asat Pramad's hands before it causes any more trouble.
You are spot on. We can't afford to put this off.
As I see it, we can bury Shuhu at the end of the world and canvas, to be dissolved by the power of Veracity.
Wait. Don't make it sound so easy. Blade has Shuhu sealed inside him. If you dissolve Shuhu, won't that mean sacrificing Blade too?
We don't have many options if we want to put Shuhu down for good. Right now, we can only borrow the strength of the Veracity. Only a beast of insatiable hunger can end a plague of eternal growth.
Isn't that way too risky? Are we really going to do a one-for-one trade?
Blade has always struggled with Mara. Rumor has it, he joined the Stellaron Hunters because Elio promised him one thing.
A scripted death, right?
I've waited far too long for this death. And it's time to settle my score with Shuhu.
Exactly. In the version 4.3 story, Blade will depart for the world and canvas to execute the plan to eradicate Shuhu. However, there's no need for our guest to worry too much. Is it death or rebirth that awaits Blade? Elio's script remains blank.
You mean nothing's set in stone yet, and things might still turn around?
The Trailblazer will get to witness the end of Blade's journey here firsthand. Remember Evanesia's request? In the version 4.3 story, the Trailblazer will also depart for the world and canvas to warn Graphia about the threat of Asat Pramad.
Is what we're seeing on screen right now the world and canvas?
No, this is Inkford Hermitage, the final stop before entering the world and canvas. The boundary between these worlds, and the last place to gather supplies.
Yep, Graphia is stationed there to ferry anyone wanting to enter the world in canvas. Basically, like the guides in comics who escort the hero through a trial.
Oh, are we finally going to lift the veil on the Graphia family's mysterious ancestor? I wonder what she'll look like.
Probably another red-haired beauty.
There are far too many legends about Graphia. It's hard to tell what's true and what's not. But since she's the contact Evanesia designated, she must be someone we can trust.
This mother of Imogenesis has been around for a solid millennium. She hasn't just witnessed major events. I suspect she's personally had a hand in them. I cast a hexagram, and her connection to the fate of the cosmos runs deep.
If the Trailblazer actually gets to meet her, they might just scratch the surface of the mysteries surrounding Plain Arcadia, the Graphia family, and even Himiko.
I can't wait!
I too am quite curious to see what the cosmos looks like through her eyes.
Meanwhile, in version 4.3, our other companions aren't sitting idle either. Whether it's dealing with the aftermath of the previous version's crisis or investigating clues about Asat Pramad, we can leave it all to our reliable comrades. With everyone working together, we might just uncover more secrets about Asat Pramad.
Huh. The legend of the Headless Ravager?
You could also call him the Dice Ravager.
Who would have thought? The Trailblazer returns from the Emphorius battlefield and goes on vacation, casually joins the Phantom Moon Games, and ends up facing a Lord Ravager again.
The Phantom Moon Games aren't that simple.
Maybe in this version, we'll even get to discover the true nature of the Phantom Moon Games from an Eon's perspective.
Yay! We're finally getting the answers!
I'll be following attentively.
I'm sure the version 4.3 Trailblaze mission will bring Trailblazers an unforgettable experience. Now, let's turn our attention back to Blade.
Here we go. Mortonak's Blade.
So, Blade, what are your thoughts on all that has happened up to this point?
Pain and hate have plagued me for too long. As they say, I'm consumed by hatred and have an obvious self-destructive streak. I can't say they're wrong. I thought the Stellaron hunters would only give me a chance to burn out. I never expected them to give me a new bond instead. The path ahead is perilous, but as long as I am not completely consumed, I can follow that rope and climb back from hell.
Weal or woe remains undecided. It seems you are already prepared.
Did everyone notice this picture? Blade's pose makes him look like he's falling, but actually he's already holding himself up.
Oh, I see.
Plus, in the version art we just saw, Blade is looking up at his new self. That imagery is straight out of an action comic double-page spread right before a transformation. It totally has the reborn from the ashes vibe.
Evanesia's interpretation really strikes a chord with me. These two images are indeed brilliant.
So Blade's transformation and past are also reflected in his
Blade
abilities?
Really
Let's
good
take a
in terms
look.
of his abilities
When
too.
casting my ultimate with my body as the furnace, I reforge the broken sword. I will deploy a special zone and enter an enhanced state.
Goodness, such an intense scene right off the bat. That looks like it hurts.
Quenched
have
blue
unlimited blade
steel
works at
rings
home.
loud and clear. In the enhanced state, I'll unleash my skill, using a rain of swords to deal higher damage to enemies.
So, in this form, both Blade's shard sword and his own appearance look different.
That's right. In the enhanced state, I'll manifest my wrath laid bare, and my ultimate will also be replaced by another form. No longer troubled by the past, no longer bound by Mara. My sword points at the abundance, and I am wreathed in flames.
Ooh, burn this broken shell, and you will serve as the temperate fire.
You're all invited here to savor the picturesque sight.
Wait, why are you still inviting everyone to enjoy the view?
Hey, that line's practically a staple of the show by now. Oh, right. Let me also add this. When Mortonak's Blade Zone is deployed, all enemies are afflicted with a debuff and take increased damage. While the zone is active, every time an ally attacks an enemy, it inflicts a debuff on the enemy. This also grants Mortonak's Blade a special charge. Once the charge is full, Mortonak's Blade will automatically unleash his skill once and regenerate extra energy. No, and the skill is considered a follow-up attack.
And when I use my technique, I will attack all enemies within range, and after entering battle, taunt the corresponding targets, while reducing my own damage taken.
10,000 sorrows from one broken dream. Now, it's time to bring things to an end. How exactly will Blade's story unfold? You'll just have to experience it for yourself in the game. Next, let's take a look at this version's banners.
During the first half warp event of version 4.3, you'll be able to obtain the limited 5-star character, Mortonak's Blade, and the drop rate for the limited 5-star light cone, reforged in Hellfire, will be boosted.
At the same time, the drop rates for the limited 5-star character Yao Guang and the limited 5-star light cone, Wen she decided to see, will also be boosted.
Here's
In the
everybody's
second half of
opportunity
version
to get Yao
4.3,
Guang.
limited 5-star character Zyrene and limited 5-star light cone, This Love Forever will return. Additionally, the limited 5-star character Finan, and the limited 5-star light cone, Thus Burns the Dawn, will also return.
Yay!
So, in version 4.3, there will also be a special Gift of Temperate Blade event. After getting the limited 5-star character, Morton X Blade, from a warp, you'll receive free Trailblaze Fashion for a brand new slot, Karmic Fire of the Distant Shore.
Huh? Trailblaze fashion for a brand new slot? I actually noticed that divine ring during the combat showcase earlier.
Just like the wrath laid bare, the karmic fire of the distant shore symbolizes casting aside obsessions and letting go of the past. Before setting off on a life or death mission, you have to leave something behind. Consider this a memento.
Yeah, it feels like this is more than just an accessory. It's a slice of Blade's life journey over the years. He might be a man of few words, but Blade has always been a deeply thoughtful person.
It certainly carries a lot of weight.
Okay, now let's take a short break. The show will resume when we're back.
Hello, everyone! Welcome to the variety show. Can we follow you home? Right now, we're out in the streets of Planet Arcadia, looking for the star of today's show. Huh? Oh, isn't that? Let's go with them. Hello, hello! I'm Furby, a host for Parallax Entertainment, and I'm out here shooting our reality show. Can we follow you home? Could I invite you to be our star for today?
No thanks.
My show's ratings have been dead last for 3 episodes straight! A gray-haired viewer wrote in saying they'll tune in if I film you guys! Please, I'm begging you!
Fine.
The place we're heading might not be exactly what you have in mind.
It's fine! It's fine!
Let's go.
Wait! Our first stop is grabbing a bite at a restaurant?
Can't hit the road on an empty stomach. You want anything?
No thanks. Canines really shouldn't eat salty things.
Allow me.
Oh, wow! I had no idea you knew how to make this. Do you cook a lot?
Like a million years old.
Home?
I hope he would know how to cook it.
Not really. Only occasionally when forced. Like
Plus, we've
right
seen him cook for
now.
the Stellaron Hunters.
Eat up.
Time to dig in! Tummy's full and I'm feeling fantastic. Where to next?
Next, to a nice place with mountains and rivers.
No, whoa! The wind's picking up. Hold still! Let me snap a picture. Such a great shot! This one's definitely going viral. By the way, it feels like you two are on a tight schedule today, rushing around nonstop.
Playing the strong, silent type again. Don't let him fool you. He's actually got a time bomb strapped to him, and we need to deal with it ASAP.
Is that some kind of metaphor for a deadline?
All right, here. Let's go.
Nice sofa. Perfect for gaming. The IPC's infrastructure isn't half bad.
Oh, it's so pretty here. Can I go around and snap some pics?
Suit yourself. I'm not in charge here.
Is there something else you need?
No! Sorry, I didn't mean to. I just wanted to get some footage for the show.
Are you serious?
Did you get enough?
Yes?
Ooh, there's even a hot spring here. Wanna hop in for a dip, little Furbo?
No thanks. And that's a wrap for today's. Can we follow you home? Thank you both so much for being so accommodating. But I didn't actually get to follow you home in the end. Which is a bit of a shame.
There's actually 5 of us right now in the family, and none of us have a fixed home. Doesn't matter though. A house is just a house. Home is wherever your family is.
Yes, that is enough.
Whether or not your world has a day-night cycle, it's midnight on our end.
If it isn't on your end, you're probably watching a replay.
This is the show Midnight Chatter, hosted by your birds of a feather. Oh, I'm sure you're all wondering, seeing as we've just moved from the midnight slot to another time.
How come we got moved back so quickly?
Actually, we just missed our old audience who's always stuck by our side.
And also caused a teeny tiny colossal disaster at our new workplace. That's all.
Anyway, let's pull ourselves together and present today's redemption code.
Just a heads up, it'll expire soon. As short-lived as our promotion trial period.
Anyway, back to the main topic. Midnight Chatter gathers all sorts of little urban legends from around plain Arcadia.
And then shares them with you to scare you half to death.
Giving everyone a spine-tingling chill on this sweltering summer night.
Even though dad jokes would probably do a better job, how about we switch things up?
Today's first story begins a long, long time ago. Exactly how long? Well, not many people remember clearly.
It was Amber Era 2148. Even if you're too lazy to look it up, don't try to fool the audience like that.
The Antimatter Legion was extending its clutches towards Ahatopia, and countless monsters known as demons from beyond invaded.
That dark period was known as the Cinderth Age. It's said that the Astral Express also made an appearance here around the same time.
Oh, it was then that a hero named Graphia stepped forward. Surprisingly, her occupation was that of a painter.
Graphia unleashed the art of imagenesis, bringing her painted creations to life to fight alongside humanity against the destruction.
And now we gotta
and the
fight her.
name Murata Graphia grew in fame with her achievements.
This was the origin of the earliest Imagine.
But the situation remained grim, as the demons from beyond, led by Lord Ravager Asat Pramad, pressed on.
So Graphia entered the Phantasmoon Games, borrowed Aha's strength, and with a grand sweep of her brush, sealed all of Ahatopia inside a painting.
But the hero who saved Ahatopia didn't get the happy ending she deserved. She was left with terrible after effects.
What emote are they spamming
Every
in
descendant
chat
of the
right now? What
Murata
is this?
family contracts the incurable weathering curse. Without exception.
To overcome the weathering curse, generations of the Murata family have tried all sorts of methods.
Some pin their hopes on the Elixir Seeker's prescriptions. Others tried treatments from the Intelligentsia Guild. And some even sought to heal the curse by winning the Phantasmoon Games.
But none of it worked. Or, to be precise, no record of success was left behind.
But lately, the Nameless have been making quite a splash in plain Arcadia, haven't they? It's common knowledge that their navigator, Murata Himiko, took part in the Phantasmoon Games 15 years ago, and is still alive and kicking.
Are you trying to say this navigator won the Phantasmoon Games 15 years ago and cured her weathering curse?
I never said that. Some say she's a ghost, while others think she's a con artist posing as a Murata.
Stop! The IPC is on great terms with the Nameless, so don't go spreading baseless rumors. I don't want to get demoted once again to some backwater department.
Oh, let's change the subject then. Have you heard about that mysterious game that's been making the rounds in plain Arcadia lately?
What is it?
100 people randomly receive an invitation and have to fight and kill each other at Perdido Station until there's only one survivor left.
Wait, what you're describing sounds so familiar.
Yeah, I signed up. But you opened my invitation, so now you're the one that has to go.
Did you really have nothing better to do than sign up for this rubbish? I'm supposed to kill other people? I can't even beat the Furbos at the news agency next door.
Who told you to open my mail? We might be brothers, but we still need to respect each other's privacy.
Is that really the point right now? First the live stream disaster,
People
then the
are still
Smile
asking
Society.
about Fate, but
and
Fate's
now a
not even coming in this
massacre.
version. We're pretty sure it's coming in the next
My life is totally
version.
over. What am I gonna do?
There's no other choice. Take my pixel plane to the competition.
Pixel Plane Rumble. Huh?
Pixel
Nice.
plane?
Yep, Pixel Plane Rumble. In every match, you
Is it
can
just
collect
Galaga?
gear to arm yourself and defeat the opponents you encounter along the way. It's a winner-takes-all
actually, it's,
zero-sum game. Who will survive to the final
more
zone?
3D.
Who will be the ultimate winner? Pixel Plane Rumble is officially kicking off. Come and play.
So that was just product placement?
Huh? You didn't know?
Of course I knew.
Moving on. What did everyone think of the recent Star Rail Fest?
The biggest stain on my career happened there.
Albert back,
Trends
please.
change in a flash. Keep up or fall behind. To improve the visitor experience at Star Rail Fest, Madame Pearl has appointed the Trailblazer as the lead architect of the Star Rail Fest pre-development plan.
I see. Was firing us also a part of optimizing Star Rail Fest?
The IPC has built a Wisp-Bay amusement park in the world in Canvas, using Wisp-Bay to simulate visitor traffic.
The Trailblazer will need to plan routes on the sandpits, place facilities, and attract Wisp-Bay to try them out.
Different areas also offer different styles of attractions
This
to
isn't
choose
my type
from.
of game, but a lot of people
For
are gonna
example,
be excited about it.
in the Bellabog exhibition area, you can add ice bears, automatons.
Hurry over to
Me?
Wisp-Bay Amusement Park and design your very own amusement park experience.
said my name.
The
Wisp-Bay
Wisp-Bay
said
Amusement
automaton.
Park is now open for business.
Our time together is always so brief. And now, it's time to say goodbye.
First day back on the job and 0 streaming disasters. I'd call that a win. Quick, change the channel, as we're off.
Bye-bye.
Time to clock out.
Welcome back! Let us continue introducing more version content. First, our old friend Gift of Odyssey will arrive on schedule in version 4.3.
Another
And
free
here's
temple there.
another old friend.
The Planet Fisher and Rome with the Strange Events will also return. Complete the challenges to get double rewards.
Cool.
In version 4.3, Cavern of Corrosion, Path of Insight will become available. Successfully beat it to obtain 2 relic sets. As Navigator IC sees it, and Divine Querying Mastersmith. Stagnant Shadow Shape of Devour will also be available. And you can obtain the Ascension material Sneering Harlequin for quantum
Both of
characters
these are
upon
going to be
completing the
needed
challenge.
for Himiko Nova,
This version
probably.
also adds new trace materials for erudition and destruction characters. Trailblazers, if you need these new materials, don't forget to farm for them.
That's right.
Erudition
and version
and
4.3
destruction are
also
said
brings some system optimization
to be the Fate 2.0 characters, Rin
First
and
up,
Gilgamesh.
After
So
the version 4.3 update, as long as you have Star Rail installed, you can start using the widget feature right away. With these widgets, Trailblazers can check things like remaining event rewards and daily progress directly on their phone's home screen.
A friendly reminder from your widget. Trailblazer, it's time to play Star Rail today!
Also, in version 4.3, a new permanent mission will be added to the daily missions. Trailblazers who use fuel vouchers or deep immersifiers can also quickly gain activity and claim all their daily rewards. In addition, certain game settings will also support cross-device synchronization.
The experience of playing Star Rail on multiple devices has been further optimized.
Ugh, I bet you've experienced it too. That annoying moment when you switch devices, only to find out auto battle isn't turned on.
Exactly! You get me!
I feel personally attacked.
Additionally, as previously mentioned in official announcements, Star Wars mode will be added to Memory of Chaos, Pure Fiction, and Apocalyptic Shadow in version 4.3. Trailblazers can enable Star Wars mode when challenging the highest difficulty of each gameplay set. In Star Wars mode, Trailblazers need to put together 3 teams to challenge 3 different stages. You can also restart the challenge for each stage individually. Clearing Star Wars mode with full stars in each gameplay set grants an extra 100 Stellar Jades per period. A total of 300 Stellar Jades has been added as rewards across the 3 gameplay modes.
Of course, Trailblazers can also freely choose to switch back to regular mode to challenge the original stages.
That's right. Next up, we're bringing you some collaboration news.
The Honkai Star
People
Rail
are
and
gonna freak
Ugreen
out.
collaboration will soon go live. And the collaboration
they're talking
character
about
is none
collaborations.
other than yours truly.
That's
But
right.
they're not mentioning
Collab merch and related online and offline events will be rolling out across multiple countries and regions,
Yeah, see,
along
there it
with
is.
some
Where's Fate
surprise
collab? Not this
collab merch
collab. What the hell?
giveaway.
A Fate
Stay
OMG.
tuned for more exciting
Show me
details and
Gilgamesh.
feature updates.
Can't wait!
Not bad.
Next up,
They typically don't
Honkai Star Rail's
do-
collab with Kurasushi USA is launching soon. Which 2 familiar
They typically don't
characters
do
will
like
be joining you
future
for
previews,
sushi
so they
this
wouldn't
time?
really necessarily
Stay tuned for more exciting details.
show 4.4
Additionally,
stuff.
Honkai
during
Star
this
Rail and
4.3.
streetwear brand M.Rage are launching their second collaboration, featuring a jacket themed after playing Arcadia's top streamer, Sparksy. For detailed collaboration information,
The jacket's pretty
including the launch date, please stay tuned for future updates.
Also, Anime Expo, we're back! This year, Honkai Star Rail is setting up shop in the South Hall. Come swing by our booth to join the fun, buy some merch, and snag some freebies. Before we wrap up, here's a friendly reminder. The version 4.3 update will drop on June 1st, which is a Monday. We can't wait for Trailblazers to dive in and experience all the fun new content in version 4.3.
June 1st. I shall remember that.
Calendar marked.
And that's all for today's show. See you next time, friends. That's a wrap.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Until we meet again.
This summer, the Holy Grail
Guess what?
War begins
Guess what?
anew.
Guess what? Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh
Prodigy of the
boy.
Tosaka
There
family.
it is. There
And
it is.
humanity's oldest king of heroes are about to make a
Everybody in the
dazzling
chat
entrance.
that was just saying, y'all rely too much.
A king's gift or Guardian's contract.
Get a collaboration for free.
Fateful
So
night is
Gilgamesh
upon
will be
us.
free if you want them. If you didn't get Archer with the last one, there you go. I was just talking about how they like don't look at all these videos about how it's over. Okay, I was just talking about how they don't usually do previews for future versions, and then they go and do a preview for a future version. That's funny. All right. Hold on. Not what I meant to do. I want to see the changes that they made. All right, so let's see what all they've changed about Mortonak's Blade's kit. So Blade is the big character releasing in the next patch, in the 4.3 patch. We know he's a 5-star Nihility Fire character, and we've got actually his kit broken down for us here. So let's just take a quick look and see what we've got incoming. So again, Fire Nihility, he's going to pair really well with a lot of other Nihility characters. He's going to pair really well with a number. I mean, obviously, the first one that comes to mind is Ashvale, because Ashvale was he's literally just a bonus to the Ashvale team. But a lot of people have been talking about Acheron in specific, and how him being a Nihility character and his kit working with Nihility characters actually empowers Acheron quite a bit and brings her more up to kind of the forefront of the meta. So let's take a look and see. We'll start with the skill here. By the way, and just to clarify, this is the old and this is the new. If it's highlighted in green, it's something that's changed. The reason I'm doing it this way is to show where it was and where it will likely be for launch. I don't think they're going to adjust any of these numbers down from here. So this is probably what we're looking at for a release version. Consumes HP equal to 10% of his max HP and deals fire damage equal to 72% of his max HP to all enemies. If the current HP is insufficient, current HP will be reduced to 1. Additionally, deals 4 instances of damage, with each instance dealing fire damage equal to 24% of Morton Axe Blade's max HP to one random enemy, when not in the Infinite Fury state, or when current HP is 1 or lower, Morton Axe Blade cannot use his skill. This is the big part right here. Using skill does not consume skill points. Boom. He is actually devouring his own life to use the skill instead of using skill points out of your skill points bank. That makes him a super SP-friendly unit. Alright, moving on. We've got this enhancement here. This is his ultimate. I'm trying to see. So there should be multiple ultimates. Alright, I'm going to have to go view his full kit. So let me just view his full kit. Let's start there. So we can go back real quick and we'll talk about his skill here. Deals fire damage equal to 50% of his max HP to one designated enemy. Causes the target to enter the taunt state for 1 turn. So that is the regular skill, and then we already know this skill right here for basic attack. Enhanced basic attack deals fire damage to equal to 100% of Morton Axe Blade's max HP to one designated enemy. Causes the target to enter the taunt state. So right off the rip, just reading his primary attack, his basic attack, he's going to be an HP scaling unit. And it sounds like the higher his max HP, the more damage he'll be able to output, right? So always good to kind of know that ahead of time, because HP is going to be a hyper focus for any and all of his relics that you're trying to pull for farm in the early run. You don't want to, normally with, some units you'd want to go for attack or crit damage, certain stats. He's going to definitely be an HP scaling unit. So definitely the higher, even if it's, number one, it'll increase his survivability, increasing his max HP. So focusing into HP is one way to definitely increase that. But in addition to that, it's increasing his damage because his damage is equal to his max HP. Alright, so that's his basic attack. For the skill, we already read the skill. For his ultimate here, we've got 2 forms. We'll go with the first form first. Inflicts Balefire Bind on all enemies. Enemy targets in the Balefire Bind state have their defense reduced by 30%. This was actually, I think, 50% when he released initially in the beta. And damage received increased by 50. Well, there you go. So 30% defense reduction and a incoming damage boost of 50% on all enemies. Lasting for 2 turns. Then consumes HP equal to 20% of Morton Axe Blade's max HP to deploy a zone. While the zone is active, Blade enters the Infinite Fury state. While in the Infinite Fury state, crit rate increases by 20% and crit damage increases by 60%. Unlocks his skill and gains a new ultimate, 10x per ignium. When receiving a killing blow, this unit will not be knocked down, but will dispel the zone, exit the Infinite Fury state, and restore HP equal to 50% of this unit's max HP. When entering the Infinite Fury state, a corresponding countdown appears on the action order. The countdown has a fixed speed of 70. At the start of the countdown's turn, dispel the zone and exits the Infinite Fury state. If the current HP is insufficient, Morton Axe Blade's current HP will be reduced to 1 when using this ability. So he can take himself all the way down to 1, and with this, if he's in the state and in his zone, he cannot be killed at least on the first try. They would have to take him down on the second. If he's knocked, he gains 50% healing to his HP. That's a pretty crazy thing for this unit to have. He's definitely got some game-breaking stuff between that and the fact he does not consume skill points. So just between those two things. If you look at the 10x per ignium, this is his enhanced. Deals fire damage equal to 350% of Morton Axe Blade's max HP to all enemies. Again, you want to get his max HP as absolutely topped out high as possible, because the higher his max HP number is, the higher your damage is with him. So there you go. His talent. While the zone is active, after each attack, an ally target uses on an enemy inflicts the Balefire Bind state on the corresponding enemy target and grants 1 charge to Morton Axe Blade. When charge reaches 9 points and Morton Axe Blade's current HP is more than 1, Morton Axe Blade consumes 9 charge points, regenerates 25 energy, and uses his skill 1 extra time. This extra skill usage is considered as a follow-up attack. There you go. His technique. Immediately attacks all enemies within range. After entering combat, taunts the target for 1 turn and decreases damage taken by this unit by 90% for 2 turns. I think they showed how he, drops all his blades there, infinite blade work style, and this is what it does. So you're looking at I'm going to be honest, I'm shocked that damage reduction did not get nerfed. 90%, even if it's just for 1 turn, 90% is pretty crazy. So I'm actually pretty shocked by that. For traces, we've got 3 traces here. And it looks like actually one of his traces just got some buffs. So let's go into it. Bone Hardened Ad Nauseam. Morton Axe Blade can accumulate up to 80 energy overflow. After using ultimate, the energy overflow is cleared and a corresponding amount of energy is regenerated. When the battle starts or when the zone is dispelled, if energy is below 75%, it is immediately regenerated to 75%. That's crazy. So he gets his energy immediately off the rip. That's yeah, that's good. That's really good. He's gonna have, you really want more uptime on your ultimate because it puts you more into the Infinite Fury state. Infinite Fury state's gonna let you access more damage, like the 350% fire damage you get here with the 10x per ignium. So yeah, again, that's really, really good. 75%. Getting your energy back at 75% is going to be really, really good, especially for any team that he's involved with. While the zone is active, Soul Tempered Immortal, while the zone is active, increases the chance of being attacked by enemies, so it's basically a taunt skill still. Decreases damage taken by this unit by 50%. Holy cow. Just 50% passive damage reduction just for having this trace enabled while in the state that you're really shooting to have as close to 100% uptime as possible. That's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be absolutely crazy. Increases incoming healing by 50%. After being attacked, inflicts the Balefire Bind state on the attacker, and Morton Axe Blade gains 1 charge. So there you go. I mean, it's that's a really powerful trace. I'm not gonna lie. He's gonna be a good character. Last one, Heart Refined Ad Infinitum. While zone is active, damage dealt by allied targets increases by 50%. If there are other Nihility characters aside from Morton Axe Blade in the allied team, ultimate damage dealt by allied targets increases by 75%. Otherwise, damage dealt by Morton Axe Blade additionally increases by 75%. So, 2 situations. 1, you have other Nihility characters in the team. They get the damage buff. Or you don't have other Nihility characters in the team, and Blade gets the damage buff. And this happens while most of this stuff is while the zone is active or while he's in his specific state. The other thing to remember about Bone Hardened Ad Nauseam, right, is this 75% boost happens when the battle starts or when the zone is dispelled. So let me paint a picture for you here. You're in your zone as Morton Axe Blade. You get downed. Your zone dispels. Immediately, 2 things are happening. 1, you're going all the way back up to 50% HP. That's the first thing that's happening. The second thing is you're immediately going up to 75% energy regen. You just instantly jumping to 75. Didn't matter if you were at 3, at 2, at 1. You're immediately jumping to 75% energy. So, I mean, he's very clearly, because he's an HP scaler and he's utilizing HP and doesn't have any native healing into his kit, you're definitely going to need some type of healing support that's going to bring his life back up. especially if they had they got close to it. If they hadn't capped this stuff, like his special abilities, to not work when his HP is 1 or lower, literally everybody would have just gone for Dan Hong PT and just set him at 1 HP and called it a day. So I'm glad they have this in place, but it definitely looks like we're going to need a healer of some type to definitely keep him up and running efficiently. But I mean, his ability to buff the team and deal damage, like his damage output, he's definitely a very good hybrid in terms of like being a sub DPS. He could even be a main. I haven't played with him or watched a lot of gameplay of him because I wanted to wait until I got hands on, or until this stream at least. But from what I'm reading of his kit, I mean, it sounds like he could even tiptoe the line into a primary damage dealer in a Nihility team. I definitely think with these effects, he's definitely intended more for support or sub DPS roles within Nihility teams. But I mean, you never know. So let's go ahead and go over here and take a look. I should be able to filter this. Where are you? Here we go. Okay. When it comes to Nihilities, here's what we got available on the roster. We've got the original Silver Wolf, Pela, Sampo. I mean, obviously, there's no even reason to talk about Gwynaife and Pela and Sampo because they're just not good. Welt recently got a Nova Flare. Black Swan recently got a Nova Flare. You've got Kafka, the Queen of the World. Acheron, Xiaoqi, Fugue, Cypher, Hysolins, the Dahlia, and Mortnax Blade now. He's the newest. So here's the thing. I currently have a team that is my dot team that's running with Kafka, and it's running with Hysolins and Black Swan and everything like that. I'm curious, sitting here thinking about this, I'm wondering how Blade's going to slot into that specific team. I wonder if he could replace Black Swan in that team. The only problem with that team is that I think I use Dan Hong PT instead of a healer, so I'd also have to replace DHPT with another healer. Let's open the Abundance. So there's not a ton you could do in terms of healing. Abundance isn't going to work. It's going to... I mean, there's obviously only one option that I can think of. When you've got HP scaling units like Castoris or Evernight, you know, there's only one unit you really can use to keep them up to snuff. That's going to be Hyacinth. So the odds are the team that I think I'm going to shoot for with it, I'm going to put Hyacinth in favor of Dan Hong PT. And I'm thinking Mortnax, Blade, Hysolins, and Kafka. And going from there, I think that's going to be good. I just think the buffs that Blade offers are going to be higher than the buffs that Black Swan offers. But, and this is the big thing, Acheron is getting a huge buff here with his existence. Especially given that she hasn't gotten a Nova Flare. Even though she probably, let's be honest, she probably could use one. But in particular, keep in mind, her ultimate, based on what I read with Blade a moment ago, her ultimate's going to get a 75% damage increase just for existing on the team when his zone's up. So here we go. Rainblade 3 times, Stygian Resurge 1 time, dealing lightning damage up to 372% of Acheron's damage attack to one designated enemy, as well as up to 300% to other targets. So she's got the AoE already. If you can imagine it, you're going... I don't know if it's just a 75% tacked on top, or if it's taking 75% of that 372 and then applying that on top of it. Either way, you're looking at a 75% damage increase on top of what's already happening. So, Rainblade deals lightning damage equal to 24% of her attack to one target. Crimson Knots removed immediately deals lightning damage 15%. Multipliers additionally increased to maximum 60. Stygian Refuge deals lightning damage to 120. Crimson Knot cannot be applied to enemies during the ultimate. Okay, there you go. So pretty straightforward. I think we all kind of know how her kit works by now. Cool. This is going to be buffed pretty big by Blade's existence. Primarily just because of that 75% damage increase. That alone is going to basically put her into the realm of meta relevant again. Now, I still think in the long run she's going to need some help, but it'll put her into the realm of meta relevant at the very least. Then there's the other side of the coin that we're not talking about here. Let me see if I can find him. Mr. Ashvale of the Hunt. So, with his bait, his follow-up attack, his damage output, like everything is going to get buffed basically by Morton Axe Blade's existence. The only problem is that since he's not a Nihility unit, he's a Hunt unit, you're going to be missing a lot of that damage on him. But if you have another Nihility unit in the squad, could be any Nihility unit. If you have any Nihility unit rounding out your third slot, he's going to get this boost. Because as far as I'm understanding with Blade, and I believe I am understanding with Blade, I think I went too far. Let's see. Changes, full. There we go. If there are other Nihility characters in the ally team, ultimate damage dealt by ally targets. So what it's saying here is, as long as there is a Nihility character on your team outside of Blade, every character other than Blade is getting that 75% increase. So that is a good thing. That is a really good thing. Basically, you just have to find a Nihility character that slots in and you just let it go. So let me go back to the characters here. We'll go back to our Nihility. So it can be any of these characters. You're going to have Blade already. Do they have a team builder here? I don't know if this site has a team builder. Does it? It does not. Bummer. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what I can do here. I don't know if a team builder. Yes, a Pride one's got one. I don't know if Pride one's gonna have. Yeah, they have Blade. Cool. Thank you. Not going to disable that. All right, so. Nope. Okay, so you have to go in order. All right, so for main damage, for example, if you have Acheron, Morton Axe Blade, right? Ashvale. And then in terms of a healer, I mean, Hyacinth, clearly. So this right here is probably going to be the ideal team. I think you're looking at a sub damage and a sub damage here, and then obviously you've got a healer. So Ashvale is, I mean, gonna run pretty close. This is a high damage team. This is like a high damage output team. Now let's say you don't have Acheron. Okay. What other Nihility characters do we have that we can pull from? So, if you got Cypher, you can use her. The Dolly is more for Super Break. Morton Axe Blade doesn't really focus on Super Break, so maybe not Dahlia. You could go Black Swan. Her kit's pretty safe. I think it would work well with Blades in particular. Let's see. Defense reduction by 20.8%. So this is another reason, by the way, this is another reason that I think that she could be replaced in the Dot team by Blade. Is because her defense reduction is far smaller than his. Wind damage epiphany, wind damage 120%. Enemy targets take 25% increased damage. No matter how you look at it, his kit is just ultimately better than hers in terms of its effects. The damage reduction, or the defense reduction, the damage taken increase, it's just all, it's all better. Black Swan gets, I don't even think anybody thought about it, but Black Swan got super power crept by Blade's existence. Yeah. So, I mean, but you could, I don't know if their effects stack. If they stack, then you could run both and just have the extra defense reduction and the extra attack boost, incoming attack boost, using Black Swan and Blade together. Hycelin's would be another one, but again, dot, and he doesn't apply dot despite being Nihility, so probably not the way to go. In the end, it's likely Silverwolf, right? Silverwolf is going to be a really strong option here, just because, again, all type res for 13%, 13% for 2 turns. Res weakness to that type. You can reduce enemy res targets res to that weakness type by 20%. So you get the res reduction. I mean, yeah, no matter how you look at it, that's going to be probably one of the best things that you can do here. Reduce attack, reduce defense, reduce speed. 3 different bugs she can make. So yeah, again, original Silverwolf, probably going to be like one of the best supports you can run there. Nihility, especially if you're wanting to use him as a primary DPS. That's the key thing, is are you wanting to use Blade as a primary DPS? So Silverwolf is an option, but the other one that most people are probably going to take, because I guarantee almost everybody has him at this point as well, Welt is going to be the other alternative here. So we know about his recent Nova Flares, and he's pretty strong. Speed reduction. I mean, we've got other actions over here. Let's see here. Action delay, speed reduction, defense reduction by 40%, speed reduction by 5%. The question is whether or not these effects stack, right? I would hope that if they don't stack, the higher number would take prevalence. So if you had 2 defense reductions, one at 35% or 30% and one at 40%, like you would between Mortnax Blade and Welt, I would hope that the 40% defense reduction would be the one that takes effect, even if Blade's got multiple effects on them. So either way, again, there you go there. And then, of course, we've got the Gravitational Imprisonment, which is the special dimension. And it's got quite a few effects. Action delay, speed reduction. They take additional damage. There's a number of things that his kit does here that makes him a really, really good pairing when it comes to Mortnax Blade. So, again, my opinion is, if you've got Asheville, it's great. Blade, Asheville, probably Hyacinth. And I'm definitely going to say to lean into Welt, probably, for that 4th slot. I don't know. You could, I guess at that point you're considering Ash and Blade to be your main damage dealers, which is fine. But, again, it is what it is, right? So other teams. I think I talked about this a moment ago in terms of Dot, but my current Dot team, right? Let's get them all together. It'd help if they were grouped like by release, or like type or something. I have to go searching this entire list across my entire screen to be able to find everybody. So, sorry. Let's see. The one I'm looking for... What's advanced mode? Won't even let me trigger it. I'm not advanced enough for it. Alright, so we've got Kafka there. Oh, Hyacinth. You know what? Alright, we got Hyacinth there. Alright, so we got Hyacinth's there. My current team, I'm going to go ahead and put Hyacinth in. Or I have a Dunhong PT. So, Romancer Terry. And then at current, on this same team, I have Black Swan. So, Control F. There you are. So this is my current Dot team. Now, this is a main damage dealer. Okay. Slow your roll there, Swan. You're definitely not a main damage dealer. Especially compared to these 2 main character energy given people over here. So, yeah. In terms of my Dot team, this is it right here. But there's nothing that Black Swan can do necessarily that Mortnax Blade cannot do better. I mean, the proof is in the pudding when you look at his kit versus her kit. in his kit, I mean, just right off the rip here. Right here. Balefire Bind. Reduces defense by 30%. Hers is 20 point something. Damage received increased by 50%. Hers is not that. Matter of fact, I can just go ahead and pull her. Just so we can do a side-by-side stare and compare. All right. So let's take a look at these two, at both of these kits, right? So immediately, we were talking about this one right here. Defense reduced by 30%, damaging received increased by 50%. If you go over here and you look at what Swan can do, her ultimate grants a 25% increased damage. Her Arcana stacks reduce the defense of the enemy target and adjacent targets by 20.8%. So, again, defense reduction by 20.8% with skill. Meanwhile, if you use the enhanced ultimate, you're inflicting Balefire Bind, and that is doing a significant amount more of defense and increasing their damage taken by 50%. Now, you could say, well, okay, I hear you, except this is an ultimate and this is a skill. And that would be a fair statement. The fact that you can do defense reduction with a skill, different applications, right? But keep in mind, she uses skill points, he uses HP. Not to mention, his damage utility is much higher than hers. Deals 100% wind damage, deals 50% max HP to designated enemy, does 100% of max HP depending on the state. So again, if you just look at their roles and their abilities, particularly with the ultimate, if you look at whose ultimate has more main character energy, the ability to transcend from sub DPS to primary DPS role, definitely Blade has a lot more flexibility in that regard. Especially when you're looking at the damage that he can actually output using his Infinite Fury state. Imagine this 350% damage is also boosted by another 75% if there's not another Nihility character on your team as well. That's kind of crazy to think about. That could really do a lot of damage in terms of Blade's actual output. So again, I just think looking at it side by side, I mean, there are utilities that are different between Black Swan and between Blade, but in general, I think that team, this one right here, I think that this team can see Black Swan taken out and replaced by Morton Axe Blade. Now, here's the other thing, though. Since Blade's an HP scaling unit, you can't leave this team as is, because sure, he can drain his own HP, and he can keep everybody shielded to keep them alive. And, I mean, you become immortal, basically, when you've got Permancer Terrae, except in the top echelon of activities. But when his HP hits 0 or hits 1, he can't drop below that, and he can't get more. And unless he's killed, he can't self-heal. He only has that 50% self-heal if he dies while he's in his zone. So, you're going to have to basically swap out Permancer Terrae for a healing unit. And there's only one healing unit in the game that's useful enough. I mean, you could probably try Hua Hua, but I don't know if her healing is going to be able to keep up, even after her Nova Flare, if her healing will be able to keep up and keep him alive. It's possible. Let's see. Who else could you use in terms of healers there? There's only one other healer that I think you could use. That you can maybe use Luocha. I don't even personally have Luocha, so I don't know how good his healing actually is, but I've heard that it's pretty good. Lingsha, she's more super break, but I mean, as a healer, you get some healing from her. But I think no matter how you slice it, I mean, like I said, you could try Huahua, especially given that she's a good free-to-play option and a readily available one if you didn't get Hyacinth. But Hyacinth's going to be your best in slot. So if you wanted to go for a dot team where Blade was substituting in for Black Swan, I think this team comp could work as well. And then there's the idea that you've got Ashvale, who himself is already an enigma and an anomaly because brand new unit, doesn't have a lot of support. You're banking on the future when you pulled him. That kind of thing. Which, seeing Blade now, I kind of regret I didn't pull him. But hey, we're getting reruns, so we're good. We're starting with Yao Guang on the next one, so Ashvale should be, 2 versions? Maybe coming after Himiko Nova in 4.5. So then you've got Blade. Blade is going to be the accoutrement to your Ashvale team. From there, the empty slot is kind of flex. You could really do anything, I think, there, depending on what you're looking for. I will say I do think that there's going to be some interplay between Huahua and Mortonak's Blade because of his energy regen, especially when he is resurrected by his zone. There's also the question of whether you actually want him to be healed or not, since he can get that every time his zone breaks, he gets that 75% energy infusion. Huahua can help get his ultimate back up and stuff, and also do some healing, so I could see her being useful there. Hyacinth obviously is going to be the most useful. She's going to keep this man at max HP at all times. His abilities don't scale based on how much HP he's lost. It scales based on what his max HP is. He doesn't have to be at max, but it has to be as absolutely high as possible, to the point where you're going to want HP percentage and flat HP on pretty much every relic piece you've got for Blade. So, outside of that, who am I thinking here? For a third, obviously Acheron, if you've got her, is going to be really good with this team as well. Could go Bronya for action advance. Bronya's always a pretty good general support unit. Obviously, there are other general support units. Dahlia could be good. Again, she handles more super break, but Dahlia has her uses too with her own zones, so could utilize that just to kind of show what I mean by that too. Dahlia is also Nihility, so she'll help to enable that entire team-wide 75% damage buff, so that's always good. Defense reduction right there in her kit. Toughness reduction. And targets, while not weakness broken, can also be converted into super break damage, so that's always good. Again, she works better with super break teams, but, And then you've got regenerates 35 energies. She names a dance partner. Dance partner, I think you wanted fire, if I remember correctly, as well, with the dance partner. So, super break damage at 60%. Follow-up attacks. I mean, again, Dahlia doesn't... Her best possible application for Dahlia is in super break teams, but it's not her only positioning. Because I've heard a lot of people talking about, in particular... I talked to a lot of people who've said this. Ron May has an amazing kit. She's always been a staple. She's just been amazing in terms of her support status. I've heard that a lot of people are pulling Ron May from those teams, and they're replacing her now with the Dahlia. So they're just saying, you know what? No. Yes. Right? And the reason is kind of obvious. It's because Ron May, much like I was comparing Black Swan and Blade a moment ago, Ron May and the Dahlia have very similar swappability. So you could pull Ron May from any team you've got her on that she's formerly best in slot in, and put the Dahlia in, and you will still see a very, very good advantageous boost to that team. In fact, it will likely boost the performance more because of it. When you start to see things like this, you know that there needs to be a Nova Flare. Now, the issue with Black Swan is she just got a Nova Flare, and she still can't keep up with Mortonak's Blade. But that's a whole different story. Again, there are drawbacks and kind of spin-offs to each thing. For example, like I mentioned a minute ago, when it comes to Blade, you have to use this ultimate to get the Balefire Bond applied. But when you have Black Swan, you can just apply that using her skill. So there are trade-offs, but on the whole, when you're looking at the numbers, Black Swan is probably going to be an inferior choice to Blade Mortonak. So, like you can swap those two, you can also swap the Dahlia and Ranmei. Ranmei is good, top tier, solid, free-to-play choice, but the Dahlia will likely be her foil. You could take any team that Ranmei's on, swap her with the Dahlia. Not to mention, again, when you put her on this team, you're also enabling the entire team to get that 75% Nihility bonus. So there's that. And then obviously you're going to need a healer here. So best thing you can do with a healer, going to be Hyacinth. If you don't want to go Hyacinth, you want to try for an energy focus, you can go Hua Hua. Her stocks are really high this season. Personally, I'm only using Hyacinth in one other team, that's Team Pink. So I would prefer to have her here. If I could get another healer that's decent. Again, the only other one I could think of is Luocha. Luocha would be good here. I wish Bailu was better than she was. Maybe Bailu will get like a huge Nova Flare and we'll all be like, oh my gosh, we were so wrong about you, Madam Bailu. But in the meantime, really there's not a lot of healing options that actually work. I almost wonder how Fu Xuan would actually slot in here. That does have me a little curious. I want to take a look at something. I always like to look at like alternative. See here, she's not abundance. Yeah, preservation. So Fu Xuan doesn't do traditional healing. So with this, Fu Xuan distributes 65% of the damage they receive to Fu Xuan for 3 turns. I wonder if self-inflicted damage would count against that. Like the type of damage that you take for casting your skills. I wonder how Fu Xuan works with the current blade, because I think the current blade also has a similar... The current blade's also HP scaling, right? Consumes HP equal to 10% of blade's max HP. So I'm curious. I would like to take the base blade and actually run him with Fu Xuan to see if Fu Xuan can absorb the HP damage he takes when he's doing that. When he's consuming his own HP. I'm actually quite curious on that. I've never tested it because I don't actually have Fu Xuan, but what I can do is probably go into... I mean, it's not going to be the best representation, but it'll kind of tell me what I need to know. If I can go into like a low-level instance of the what's the name of the game mode? The card game mode. I can go into Currency Wars and probably manage to make this matchup. The only thing that's going to hurt is the fact that Fu Xuan is a very high cost character. She's four costs, so you don't typically see a Fu Xuan pop up in the store until late in game. So that's going to be like my one foil there. I might just need to go to standard banner and hope I get lucky. I mean, is what it is. She's on the invitations list, so I mean, it's not like you can't get her for free if you get lucky enough. Her skill. Yeah, so her skill just creates the zone, the matrix of prescience. 65%. And again, look at that. She is also a max HP scale unit, just like Mortonak's Blade. Her talent is the one that restores HP as well, which I know her HP restoration isn't very good. Audio's low. Fun. Shouldn't be low. Should be right there. Is it microphone? Yeah. No, I got you. I don't know why it would have been low. Weird. All right. So her talent is what does the HP restoration. I could probably Google this because I'm sure. Actually, I wonder if anybody's tried. Let's see. She can't get enough ult stacks to heal caster skill drain period. Okay. So if she doesn't work... If she doesn't work with Castress, who's also an HP scale unit, she also cuts her own HP, then she's probably not going to work with Blade. Fu Xuan needs to have a rework in that case. I think she really just needs to have stronger healing if that's the case. Or a reduction in the amount of stacks required. I think she could definitely use a little bit of love. She definitely needs to be brought up to more current things. Run is the conference completed? JP broadcast came with pre-translated Ian closed caption subtitles. Oh boy. The Ian delay was intentional. 2 new characters. Okay, no. I'm gonna go watch it. I'm gonna go watch it right now. All right. By the way, Rin Tosaka was announced. They did. That's great. Thanks YouTube. I appreciate you. Okay. Love that. Love that I'm getting that kind of stuff immediately. All right. Hold on. Let's see what we got here. So they did a live. Well, this is the EN, isn't it? I'm going to need to go to JP. Infield JP. All right, here we go. Did they move it to the videos now? Sketches of Lost Heirlooms version preview. Here we go. So yeah, it was videos, so they didn't do a live stream, I'm guessing. All right. Subtitles in English.
各位管理员，大家好，我是明日方舟周末地的游戏制作人海猫乐和屋，很高兴能再次以这种形式和大家分享我们目前的开发进度和即将到来的新版本内容。那几乎是每时每刻我们都能够看到各位管理员对当下体验的讨论和对未来内容的关心。上一版本春晓时在发布后获得了大家的广泛好评，那也非常感谢各位管理员的喜爱与支持，我们也不禁感到自豪，因为持续的打磨和不间断优化，确实能够为大家带来更好的游玩体验。落地有声是我们不曾改变的准则，希望每一次推出的游戏内容和每一条实施的优化措施都能够代替言语回馈各位管理员的信任，也希望大家能在未来多多支持周末地。那这一次我们将会为各位管理员带来全新版本悬疑散记的介绍，囊括了全新地图场景、新增干员、各位活动玩法和优化内容。那接下来就请随着版本 PV 一起，暂时远离纷争和阴谋，在遗落的悠久山谷中展开一段冒险篇章吧。
Thank God they encoded this. I didn't want to watch it on IGN.
語り部の話によく出てくるやつ？燕国が残したお宝ってことは伝説の石章憲法あるかもだし。
聖破の仇10年くすぶり 着がつく。
行こう。覚悟は決まった。
Mifu's been pretty hyped, so good to finally see her coming. Great sword.
文句があるなら一気に来い。全員まとめて倒す。
I was gonna say, we've seen her use gauntlets. We've never seen her use an actual sword, so I'm guessing that's just gonna be an enhanced form.
制裁する。
裏切りなど幾度となく味わってきた。今同じ匂いを感じる。全ては戻らない。永遠に。
Oh yeah. Is Camille using a spear? Nice.
神秘の雨。
Fire Vanguard wielding a spear. Or I guess they're full on this game. Okay. I'm cool with that. Weird that they made Mifu physical though, because we kind of anticipated her being lightning, right? Him being fire makes sense, but Bloodmancy could go either way, realistically. I know people are just going to be excited to even be able to get the character, a male character, as the rate up at this point. Another new area here. It'd be nice if I could read some of this. Like, all of it isn't translated. We have 2 new armor sets too. Oh, 3 new armor sets. Operator events. Contingency contracts finally coming. I like how the first shot they show a contingency contract is somebody dying. That's fantastic. It's probably accurate too. Contingency contract's gonna be rough for anybody that's not no-lifing this game. Desperately pouring every single penny into maxing every character that they've got on the
我们
team's
会为
tree.
各位管理员带来一张全新的支线地图。那在此前的故事中啊，侵蚀潮起，武林一度陷入了存亡危机。那在管理员们的奋战下，侵蚀潮落，和平再度降临武林。但一封来自选剑局的消息呢，打破了短暂的安逸。原来啊，侵蚀潮的退去，让失落已久的遗迹藏剑谷重见天日。那这一次啊，我们将肩负起探索藏剑谷的任务，追寻被侵蚀潮吞没的历史。选剑局的天师们说啊，这座沉寂已久的山谷，据说埋藏着大燕遗留的技术遗产。要是问咱们的陈千羽干员啊，他肯定会说，话本里的大燕侠客在此埋藏了神剑秘籍，那他一定能够在这里找到传说中的赤霄剑法。那大战之后啊，难得有轻松惬意的机会，可以一同冒险所以陈千羽干员这次啊是格外起劲，自告奋勇陪我们一起去寻宝。穿过清波寨附近的峡谷山道，一面就是一座耸立的石门。那散落斜插在四周的古老石剑啊和选剑局的时钟，竟然如出一辙。 紧闭的门扉前带有神秘符文的机关柱，正是这座山谷带给寻宝者的初次试炼。待正确解开机关，穿过大门，远远便能看到比肩山峦的巨型剑庄。一路上，我们朝着巨大剑庄穿行于遗迹的断壁和浮崖之间。只有顺次解开巨型剑庄的机关，才能抵达藏剑谷深处，揭开传说的奥秘。为了给每一位管理员带来沉浸式体验，此次呢，我们引入了全平台体积云技术，让藏剑谷中的云雾缭绕景象在各个设备上都能够自然呈现。不过，管理员们也请千万小心沿途逃窜的水匪和凶猛的野兽，尤其是藏剑谷中栖息的一种叫做山吼兽的敌人。他们习惯成群结队出没，而且性情调皮，会刻意扔出香蕉皮布置陷阱。聪明的山吼兽甚至还会和体型巨大的披甲猎兽一起协同作战，配合之默契，堪称怪物界的踩种机与种植机。那大家不妨细心观察下他们的弱点和周遭还可以使用的道具，也许以牙还牙，以胶还胶，会是个不错的选择。而藏剑谷的深处还盘踞着一只巨山吼兽，它有着远超寻常个体的巨大体型，擅长利用场地发起攻击。在狂暴状态下，巨山吼兽会震若遗迹残垣，那在场内随机落下石块造成伤害，也能够灵活抄起石柱引发大范围攻击。而它发出的怒吼声会在短时间内封锁管理员们的行动。若是仔细观察巨山吼兽的动作模式，小心掌握战斗节奏，相信大家一定能够发现这位敌人的攻克方法。那么击败藏剑谷深处的巨山吼兽之后，是否就能寻得沉睡的宝藏？而宝藏是否就正如传闻所描述那样，就请各位管理员亲自体验揭开古老历史的一角了。在本次新版本中除了新区藏剑谷之外呢，还有2位新登场干员米弗和卡缪即将和大家见面。那么接下来就请 Ra 来为各位管理员介绍一下他们吧。
Debating Camille. I think we're in the same boat. I'm definitely skipping Mifu as well. I think Bladie was going to pull
很
Mifu.
高兴能
So
够再次见到各位管理员。
luckily.
我是明日方舟周末地的关卡设计师
Still have to wait for the
Ra
Ian video
这
for
段
some
时间
context on
我
some
和海猫
things.
一样，
They did some
密
of the
切
risks
的
in the
关注着大家
brutal.
的
I
意
think
见
it's another side
同
quest.
时也在不断的筹备新的内容，
I'm
推
feeling
出
the
新
same
的
way.
优
It's
化。
definitely looking very
我
side
们的目标
questy
其实
in
很
terms
简单
of，
就是希望
what
各位
they're
管理
offering
员
here.
能够切实的感受到
I don't know,
游
Mifu
戏
was
的
a,
体
was an
验越
easy
来越
skip
好
for，me from the
周末地
beginning
的世界
anyways.
越来越丰富，也希望这一
I'm
次
like
我
one
们
of
带
the
来的
few
新内
people
容
that aren't
能够满足
interested
大
in
家的期
Mifu.
待。
I've got to be honest too,
我先来为
as
管理员
a
们介绍本
fan
次
of
的
the
2位
original
新登
Arcanines,
场的
I
干
get
员
kind of mad
米
about
弗和
how they
卡
keep
缪。在
retconning
此前的版
all
本
of
中多次
these
登场的米弗，大家相信应该不
all of
陌生
these
了。
things
我们在他刚发动的一场奇
about
袭中，
races
初
that
次见到
were
了这位英姿
pre-established
飒
and
爽的
stuff.
武林城巡卫队长米
Like
队。
calling her a
虽然
sarcasm.
首次相遇的
We
场
don't know
面
if that
一度
was
十
an
分
insult,
混
but we're
乱，
about to get
但在我们
her
面前的米弗总是十分可靠，值得信赖。
file,
他不仅
and
是我
I
们
get
初
the
入武
feeling
林
it's
时的
going
引
to
路
say
人，
that she's a
也是一起
sarcasm.
直面清十朝危机时的好伙伴。而
I
这
don't
次
like
米
that
弗
they
的
did
故
that.
事
I don't like how
始
they
于
did
召唤仪失
Kylan's.
踪的
Like
消息。空无一人的整
Kylan's
装
are
办公
supposed to
室
be Thunder
唯
Horse
有一起
dragon
信笺
things,
残
and
存，
that's not like
全
you
出
know
无悔，
lazy.
生死随流。
That's not what
米弗一眼认出这是
what
师傅
Fang
们
Yi
留下
is.
的战
Now
书。
I like Fang
当
Yi as a
年清波
character,
寨 有
but
3位
again,
深不
I
可
don't
测的高
like how
手，
they're kind of
人
doing
称
some of this
清波
stuff.
寨
They're
3绝。
breaking the mold on some
他
of
们
this
与武林不能
pre-established
说是
lore
关
that
系
they
和睦，
spent years
至少
building
也
up.
是势如水火。作为备受益众
So
的大
yeah,
徒弟，
Mifu was
米
was
弗自
already
然
a
也
hard
是
skip
以
for
挑
me
战
just
武林
based
为
on
己
that
任。
and based on the fact
怎
that
料时过境
I
迁，
thought she was going to be
如
a
今她
defense
却成了
character,
投靠武林
and
的叛
based on
徒
her。great sword, I mean,
卷
unless
土重来的
she's
师傅们不惜以
primary
装天师为要
DPS
挟，也要逼迫米弗与他们一
you
一
know,
对决。
yeah, it's
装
confusing.
天师的
I
实力有
completely
目共
agree.
睹，如今
She's
却
a
离奇
physical
消
guard
失，
with great
这让米
swords,
弗
so
和
I
管理员
mean,
也疑惑不已。如今
I
武
don't
林
need
城
another
与清波
physical
寨
guard.
早已放下恩怨，
Not
为了
right
不让
now.
事态扩大
I-，
米弗决定
she's
先
the
去护
first
理会
easy
师傅们
skip。for me. If
可
she'd have
等
been
他真
something
正准备
that
迎战时，才发现事情
enabled
的
or
走向似乎
empowered
与想象
Fang
中一不
Yi's
一样。
team
事
in
关
some
双方
way,
一
that
安
would
危
have been，different.
米弗
But
难免不安。我们便应
yeah,
邀
her
与
being
他
a
一同
physical
展开
guard
特
pretty
训。
much cements
几次招
the
手之间
skip，
对米弗的
ability
招
of
式
her.
也是更了解了。
Unless I get lucky and get her in a tenor.
作为一名物理属性的近
So I
卫
think
干
I'll
员
have，
米弗可以对目标施加物理脆弱
the basic，
并
ones，
通过
the
战绩
basic
打出
pulls
不俗的伤
for her
害，
banner, so
是一名实力强劲的输出手。
normally
最
I
特
go to
别的
60,
在
but
于他
I've
的
only
战
got
绩
60
可
at
以
this
连
point.
续释放
So
最多 3段不同的招式，而每一段
And I'm
都有不同
definitely
的
going to
特
be
性。
pulling for
留
old
在
Vampire
武林的这
Boy.
段时间，礼服不断精进实力，
I
创出
play a
了
lot
自
of
己的
Heat
功
teams,
法
so，having another
大
Heat
剑横扫
Vanguard's，definitely
劲
a
拳
boon.
开道，一招一式自成一派。接下来就让我们一起来看看他是如何出招的。先来看看普攻，剑行拳意， 米芙可以进行最多4段普通攻击，对敌人造成物理伤害。处决敌人时将造成大量物理伤害，并恢复一定击力。战绩轻波3亿，可以说是米芙最标志性的绝学了。3亿意味着他能够释放3段不同的招式。一段战绩段影，米芙可以从拳套中发射拘束锁，拉取一定范围内的敌人，将其聚拢至身前。如果目标中有无法被拉动的敌人，米芙会转而将自身牵引至目标前。这意味着绝大部分情况下，技能释放后，米芙都能够迅速接近敌人。技能成功释放后，可以衔接第2段战绩。2段战绩锥形，米芙进行连续挥拳，最后一击可以额外造成猛击效果。如果这次猛击消耗了不少于3层破防，那接下来一段时间内还可以继续衔接第3段战绩。3段战绩开天，米芙进行蓄力后，可以在不消耗破防层数的情况下，对敌人造成一次视为猛击类型的高额伤害。这次伤害不算作触发了猛击的物理异常，且不属于战绩伤害，但诸如原始记忆强度等属性将能够正常提升本次的伤害。值得注意的是，一段战绩释放后，不仅会返还大量激励，且2段和3段战绩的激励消耗都比一般技能更低，各位管理员们可以更自由地使用这些技能。连续技全出无悔，当有敌人达到3层破防及以上时，米芙以及上勾拳痛击前方的敌人，对其造成伤害，并施加物理脆弱，且随后可以在一段时间里直接衔接第2段战绩锥形。细心的管理员们可能已经发现了，米芙的连续技和2段战绩所需的破防层数都是3层，这意味着触发米芙的连续技后，是非常容易再追加2段和3段战绩，打出一套伤害不足的小连招的。
So she's meant to be. I think she's actually meant to be a primary damage
短暂蓄力
dealer.
后向前方冲刺，强制击飞前方所有敌
Which
人，
is weird because she's
狠
a
狠
guard.
将其砸向地面，造成物理伤害。
But I mean,
且随
I
后
guess you could
也
see
可
it.
以在
Yeah,
一段时间
dependent
内直
in
接衔接第2段战绩锥形。米芙的终结技本身
particularly. So
可以
she's
造
gonna
成
pair
较
with
高
like
的时狠
Chin
值伤
Chin Yu.
害，
She's gonna pair with
也可以
Rossi.
在
Those
关键
types
时
of
刻
teams.
补充重要的破防层数，让管理员们触发第2段战绩时的效果更加顺
Rossi's
畅。
a little more difficult to think to pair with since Rossi also consumes. So really like Chin Chin Yu, pretty much any
那么接下
character
来
that
我们就通过
can
实战视
apply
频来了解一
vulnerability.
下米芙在战场中的表现吧。首先啊，是由米芙领头的物理队来挑战隐通风杯玩法中的旁门外道这一关。想必大家都还对这一关中无法被控制的莉莉者弩兵记忆犹新。开场面对一群精英莉莉者，我们先用米芙的1段战绩将他们全部拉至身前，随后配合2段战绩和其他干员，敌人的破防层数迅速来到了3层。此时我们立即发动米芙的连续技，衔接2段战绩，让敌人瞬间蒸发。还没完啊，因为刚刚我们打出了2段战绩，消耗了3层破防，我们可以立即衔接第3段战绩，让3名敌人在开场时便受到重创。
I mean,
我
she's
们发
meant
动
to.
近卫
I
和引
think
进的终
also
结技
based
后
on the fact
立
she
即
can
发
group.
动
I think
米芙
another
的终
thing
结
that
技，
she's meant
为
to
目
do
标
is
施加1层
alleviate
破
the
防。
pressure on
同
Gilberto,
时，
who
陈的
now
连续
has to
技
do
和
all
战
the
绩也
lifting
对
for
目标施加了
CC.
另外2层破防。这下米芙的连续技又可以启动了，我们继续衔接2段战绩，乘胜追击。
The main
一击击
reason I'm
倒了
not
一名
interested
敌
in
人
Mifu is because
哈
she's a
哈，剩
physical
下2
unit
名敌人
though.
自
Like
然
I
也
don't.
逃不了。让我们找好一个角度，释放第3段战绩，一阵猛烈的拳风呼
There
啸
are
而
there are
出，同时
plenty
击倒了
of
2名敌人，
areas
完
for
美收场
improvement。in terms of
接下来来看看对战
where
残暴的巨兽天
characters
弩的
need
情
to
况吧。
be
开场
released
我们
to
先进
fill
入洛希的
slots.
战绩与连续
I
技，
just don't know that
使其迅速
physical
进入3层破
is
防。
one of those.
随后发
Honestly,
动米
even
芙
the
的连
fact
续
we're
技，
getting
并
another
且施加
heat
物理
van
脆弱
guard
状
is
态。
kind of
由于天赋的
outrageous
加
when
持，
you think about
米
it
芙将在
because
连续技后获得护盾，
we're
并在
still
护盾持续期
very
间获得
much
更强的
low
抗打的
on
能力。
nature
紧接着，我们
operators
释
and
放
like
秋丽的
their
终结技，恢
general
复一定击力
application.
并衔接米芙的终结技，施加1层破防的同时，造成了大量的失衡值伤害，刚好使敌人进入失衡状态。
That kind of
我们
leads me
乘
to
胜追击，
believe that
对目标进行
the
处决攻
Fair
击
and
后，
Moot
配合秋丽
character
和洛
that's
希的技
coming,
能，
the
再
13th
次使敌
proxy
人
of
进入
Sui
3
is
层破
going to
防状态
be。
大家别忘了
a，nature
米芙在
character.
释放终结技后，
Of course,
可
that
以
could
直接衔接
completely
第
be
2段
off
战
base,
绩，
but
一通战绩连招输出后，天谷巨兽甚至还没来得
nature
及进入
seems to
愤怒
be
状
other
态，
than Gilberto
便
the
化为了灰
only
烬。
column
从
that
刚才的
hasn't
实战
gotten
表
more
现啊，大家
characters.
可以看到，米芙拥有的3段战绩赋予了他多样的能力，既可以
13th
击败，
proxy win though,
又可
probably
以
the
造
next
成爆发
version
性的物理伤
or
害。
two.
只要有队友能够
Maybe
配
they'll
合
do
施
her
加
and
破防
Arcane
层
at the
数，
same time.
米芙就可
Seems
以
like they're
大展
converting
拳脚，
over to a
利用
two-banner
连续技
system.
和战绩的连招
So，
暴风骤雨般的打出大量的物理伤害。如
She
今
was definitely
融合了
teased,
清波
I
拳法
mean,
与武林技艺的
alongside
米芙
Mifu，and
面对昔日的师傅，究竟胜负如何
Vampire，Boy
就
there，
敬请
so
各位管理员们见证了。介绍完了老朋友米芙， 来让我们再一起看看本次的新面孔卡缪。
Yeah, with
我们发现
Camille and Mifu
自上一
dropping,
次
she's
全
the
家
only
节目的
one
露
that's
脸
been
之后，
teased so far that
卡
we
缪
know is
似乎引
coming.
起了不少
Unless
管
they're
理员
gonna
们的
do
关
what they're
注。
gonna do is
大
maybe
家
like
都对
two
他身为血
characters,
魔，
then one
隶属赛
character
什卡的身份
every
充满
every
好奇。
version.
具体来说，他是赛什卡这一组织的看护人，
You
负
think
责追查
1.4
各
is a
类内部
7-week
的
3
犯罪案
banner?
件。
I don't know, man.
也
Might
是一
be
场来自赛什卡的委托调
that
查
right there might
指引
be
我们与卡缪就此相遇。在他的冷淡介绍下，我们得知这次的事件因一份匿名寄给赛什卡的血液样本而起，而运输卡车的失联与运输人员的身亡又为此增添了层层迷雾。我们本该与卡缪协力调查，但他对合
Yeah,
作
both
表现
of
出冷
both
淡
of
的态
the
度，执
story
意独
modes,
自追
like the
查。
stories that they've
虽然在
described so
管理员
far
的主
seem
动
like
下，
they're
卡缪不再沉默，开口道出了所掌握的信息。
they seem like
但
they're
他
more
最初
sad
的回避
stories.
与近
Like
乎
they, I
执拗
mean,
的
not
态
that
度
they
让我们
don't
意识到，
progress the story,
此
but
次
they
的案
don't
件
seem
并
to
不
be
简单，
like
背
major
后或许隐藏着更大的隐情，
events.
甚至与卡缪不为人知的往事有关。为了揭开谜底，我们沿着滴落的血痕一路追踪。很显然，真凶似乎有备而来，也许还有更多危险隐藏在这之后。不知道等待着卡缪和管理员的是什么呢？从独自追查到并肩作战，随着卡缪与我们之间的信任逐渐积累，他也不吝惜在我们面前展露自己的战斗方式。
私の行く道に罪を隠せるとでも。
卡缪的作战风格带有血魔独有的特色，挥舞的长枪被猩红色的薄雾笼罩。
Yeah, one
当他
thing
释
that
放
they
真
could
正力
do,
量时，会
they
展开
could
巨大的
do
单翼，降下血色枪雨，用更猛烈的攻击横扫整个战场。身为灼热属性的先锋干员，卡缪的连线技和终结技都能回复大量技力。它的特色机制在于，战技所生成的血火血液能为敌人施加长时间的虚弱和灼热脆弱的
So what I'm wondering if they were going to do, what I think they might do is I think they might do two banners or two banner
为了
characters
达成
in the
更默
first
契的配
part
合，
in
我们不妨来
1.4
一起深入
or
了解上他的战斗技
1.3,
巧
and
吧。
then a single banner character in
卡缪的
1.4
普
with a
通攻
rerun
击
banner.
歃血离
And
队
then they'll
可以
stick to
进
that
行制动
formula. It
武
kind
断
of
普
seems.
通攻
That's
击，
that's
对
what I'm
敌人造成
guessing. I'm
灼热伤
guessing.
害。
So
处
I'm
决敌
going
人
the
时
opposite
要造
direction
成
you
大量
are
的灼热
because
伤
you
害
think
并
1.4
恢
is
复
going
一
to be
定
a
的记力。
7-week 3 banner.
战绩虚火焚影，
I
卡
think
缪
it's
召唤
going to
邪
be
火血翼
a
飞向敌人，对一定范围内的敌人造成灼热伤害，并施加灼
similar
热
to
附
what we're
着。
getting right now with
随后，
Feng Yi.
邪火血翼会在主要的目标周围盘桓，对其施
If
加
you think
长时
about
间的虚
hype
弱和
levels
灼热脆
too,
弱效
that
果
would。be the next
该目
really
标被击
truly
败时
hype, like the
邪火
13th
血翼
sweep
则会
proxy
立即飞
confirmed
向
would be
附
the
近的
next
另
one.
一个敌人，继续
Those
对目标
Vesper
造成
wings
灼热
get
伤害，
ooh.
并施加灼热附着、虚弱
I
和
like the
灼热脆
chain
弱等效
damage.
果。这意味着，即使是在有多个敌人的情况下，也不用担心已被施加战绩效果的敌人快速倒下而浪费激励了。
CC
不
is
过要
always
注意的
good.
是，邪火
It's
血
always
翼
good
在
to
场
have in
上
a
最
game
多
like
只能
Infill.
同时存在一群。当管理员再次释放战
And
绩
you
时，
can damage
已在场的
multiple
邪火血
targets
翼会消失
simultaneously.。
连线技追星之极，当有敌人的灼热附着被消耗或吸收后，就可以发动。卡缪在敌人之间来回穿梭，造成灼热伤害，并恢复一定的记力。当受邪火血翼影响的敌人被卡缪的连线技命中时，还会在短暂延迟后发生一次爆裂，使该敌人受到一次额外的灼热伤害，并使队伍获得连击效果。由于卡缪的战技自带灼热附着，所以无论是被蓝丸町这样的干员通过攻击吸收，还是通过其他附着造成的法术异常的方式消耗，都可以很轻松地触发
He's
卡
going to be
缪
a
的
good
连线
enabler
技。
for Lava
终结
Tang
技
for
猩
dual
红坠
DPS
影
type teams.
卡缪展开单翼飞向空
Right
中
now she works，
落下
mainly
枪雨
as a
并
hyper
衔接
carry,
横扫
so
攻击，对大范围内的敌人造成灼热伤害，并施加灼热附着，同时恢复一定的记力。
Since he
释
can
放攻
apply
击
heat
后的
inflictions,
一
he
段时
could
间
be a
内，
good swap
卡
out
缪的下一次战绩
for
会被替换为追猎。追猎本身是为连线技，不消耗激励，且命中后可以恢复激励，并且无论目标是否受邪火血翼的影响，只要追猎命中，就可以使队伍获得连击效果。这样一来，管理员们就可以在最需要的时机使用追猎来配合其他干员的战技或终结技来进行输出了。那么接下来，我们同样通过实战视频来了解一下卡缪在实际作战中的表现吧。首先，我们来对战一群天使，正好可以小试牛刀。开场时已经有不少敌人受到了自然附着的影响，这正是个好机会。我们使用卡缪的战技，让血翼飞向敌人，造成灼热附着，并触发燃烧异常。大家注意看啊，残血的敌人因燃烧而倒下之后，血翼又会立即飞向下一个目标，再次施加灼热附着，并触发燃烧异常。如此往复，我们仅使用了一次战技，所有敌人就像多米诺骨牌一样逐个倒下。 当血影
Camille
下
is
最后一只
functionally a
大型
very
天
good
使
addition.
时，
I
我
am
们乘胜追
inclined to
击，
agree,
立即开启
especially
卡
if you
缪
like
和
doing
吉安菲尔
B
终结
teams
技，分别造成灼热和自然附着。
I
利用
wonder how
51
he would.
场
I think
先
he
削
might
弱敌
actually
人，
pair pretty
然
well
后再
with
使用卡缪的连续技后，配
Rossi
合
as
卡缪
well.
终结技的追猎效果，完成一次华丽的收割。
What
接
is
下来
that
我们要与
team
3个
comp
历练者
though?
大斧哥来速战速决。一
Camille,
开场，我们立
Perlica?
即使用卡缪的战技和终结
There
技
you go. That's
为
a
所
more
有敌人施
traditional
加
team
灼热
comp
附着的
right
同
there.
时，将追猎效果记载在
So
手中。
what you do?
随后
What do they
开
do?
启来完成
Lavatane.
终结技，
They've got
攻击敌人的同时，
Wolfguard.
恰好
They've
削弱了
got
敌人的灼热附着，触发了
Camille
卡
and
缪的
they've
连
got
续技，
Ardelia.
为
I
队
would
伍首
probably
先积攒
swap.
了
I
一
mean,
层
Ardelia is
效
good
果。
for the heals,
接
but
下
I
来
would
我
probably
们使
swap
用卡缪
Ardelia
终结
out
技留下
for
的追
maybe
猎技能，
Gilberta.
不但不
Probably
会消耗
just
连击
being
次
me.
数，还会额外叠加一层。时机已到，开启满容沃
Yeah,
层
that's
数的
totally
莱万丁
Kirito's
战技
VA. Oh,
配合
that's
上
awesome.
2层连击带来的大幅度增伤，直
I
接
mean, they
一举
spare
消
no
灭
cost
所有
when
的
it
敌
comes
人，
stuff
轻
like
松
that.
获
So.
胜。相信通过刚才卡缪的实战表现啊，大家可以更直观地感受到他在各个队伍中的强大功能。
Yeah, as
进入
somebody
战斗
who's
后，
my
他可
main
以
team
率先
is
使用战技
one of
召
my main
唤
teams
咸
is
火
the
血
Lavatane
翼，对
team. I
敌人施加
definitely
灼
have
热
to
附着
pull
和
him.
各种负面状态。
But Mifu's
只
gonna
要
be
队
an
友
easy
能够利
skip.
用灼热附着，就可以轻松地触发他的连续技，在恢复技力的同时，还能为队伍提供宝贵的连击效果。技能
Camille's
加快队伍
definitely
的技
bait
能
to
循
lower
环，又能
resources
提供各
primary
种
to
增
the
伤效
13th
果。
proxy
卡缪
dropping
绝
them.
对可以说是各种队伍里
Because I
不可
almost
多得的
guarantee
多面
that's
手
going to。come in the second.
跨越各种阻挠后，
in
管理员与卡
1.5,
缪
so-
是否能
or
抵达真
1.4.
相？血痕的尽头又将指向何方？一切的结局正在等待我们一同揭晓。
And then in 1.5, we're going to get Arcane probably. Arcane's going to be the W of
在
infield.
本次版本中
for a little，
我
bit
们还
there
准备了多项新玩
Well,
法
the Wii
带给
Citadel
各位管理员们体验。常驻玩法引突丰碑将新增高难度挑战内容死寂真名，
Intention of
在
deathly
普通模式
silences,
下
huh?
挑战成功，便可在同步推出的限时活动丰碑留名奋身中领取包括千金玉在内的多种奖励。在版本故事藏剑于谷落下帷幕之后，我们将跟随指引来到演武平台，解锁全新的常驻玩法选剑演武。这是一种风险与回报并存的战斗玩法，管理员们可以在平台中随机抽取名牌，每张名牌都会显示一组敌人以及对应的战力点，每抽取一张名牌，敌人的战力总数都会相加，并在下方显示对应的奖励数额。但为什么说这个玩法有风险呢？是因为抽名牌可不是越多越好，敌人的战力点数之和正好达到10点时，对应的奖励数额最高。战力点数超过10点时，不仅奖励数额会回落，而且战斗难度还会大幅度上升。抽取完毕后，名牌上的所有敌人会同时发起进攻。由于名牌是随机抽取的，所以管理员们可能会面临之前从未见过的敌人组合，获得特殊的战斗体验。将他们全部都击败后，即可获得奖励数额对应的调度券。值得一提的是，管理员们可以提前在平台旁边的高台区域放置防御塔、入座站。到时候，大家可以多多尝试不同的设备，让战斗变得更加轻松。后续啊，我们还可以通过花费调度券升级演武平台，不仅能提升奖励的数额上限，甚至2级以后还可以解锁奖励翻倍功能。开启该功能后，战力总数不变，但对应的奖励数额翻倍。每日完成限定次数的奖励挑战后，可进入自由演算模式，自由开启战斗、试验配对。除了每次挑战可获得的调度券以外，伴随玩法上线，我们还准备了限时奖励活动，完成指定任务即可获取活动奖励。总的来说，有限的奖励翻倍机会，有限的名牌放弃机会，还有随着抽取而实时变化的名牌库剩余信息，都是我们留给管理员体验博弈乐趣的小设计。抽或者不抽，这是一个问题。除此之外，我们还将新增常驻玩法微镜碎片。在击败巨山吼兽本次的最终敌人之后，管理员们可以随时进入行动手册中的微镜碎片重新挑战，获得千金运等手动奖励。在这次的新版本中，爱创作的卡莉来到了50，继续书写她的童话书。限时拍照活动。卡莉的50童话将迎来开启，请各位管理员帮助卡莉完成她的作品吧。最后啊，将要为大家带来的是一项全新的挑战玩法——危机合约。这个新玩法最大的特点在于，战斗难度将完全由各位管理员们自己定义，而难度自定义的关键就在于难度指标的选择。接下来，就让我和海猫一起给大家演示下危机合约的具体玩法吧。
好，现在我们来到了危机合约的主界面，那可以看到
pretty reminiscent of the original
那让 Ra 给大家介绍一下吧。大家可以看到词条一共有3行，对吧？分别是1分、2分和3分。那这里面呢，
越往下面的词条分数越高，但是也就越难啊。并且大家可以看到，在一些词条的中间还有一个比较细的这么一个连线，这其实代表呢这些词条之间是相互冲突的，你只能在连线的词条中间选择最多一个。啊，可以往右边看，包括我们词条的类型也非常的多样啊。哎，比如说现在海猫现在点到的这个禁止闪避，是不是感觉有一点可怕？
确实，我等会儿会试一试这个词条。
确实很可怕，先给你一个信息。
哎，我这边看到有2个黄色的词条啊，这是什么呀？
哎，这个是我们本次挑战中的2个特殊词条啊，我们叫它密钥指标啊。这2个指标你一旦选中了之后，首先后面有一批被锁上的词条才可以被选中。第二是这2个指标本身也很特殊，它们不仅有一定的负面作用，而且它们还有一定正面的作用。这2个作用而且是不一样的。玩家可以根据自己的阵容来选择说感觉哪边哪个合适自己，这个是我们这次一个比较特殊的这么一个设计。
好，那事不宜迟，我们可以选择一些进行挑战了。那我要大展身手一下，先
看你表现喽。
对，我们选择，我随便选一些吧，到时候让我来先试一试。好，先我随便点了一些词条，把它累积到了一个25的一个难度啊。那我相信这个是有一定挑战的。然后我选择使用这样的物理队进行。
哦，经典物理队。
你笑得很诡异啊！我知道，可能对我来说，刚才有很多词条可能很不妙啊。不过没关系，我们主要给大家来演示一下这个一样的效果。
看左上角，左上角这边其实你看有4个数字，其实代表了我们一共有4波怪。波与波的之间间隙其实会有一些回血啊什么样的一些东西。
对，没错。那我们现在只要触摸光点就可以开始战斗了。
要不赶紧开始？哦，第一波怪嘛，小试牛刀，几个小天使。
没错，那我们使用小层啊进行一个叠层。哎，不对啊，刚才我连续之后怎么只叠了1层啊？
哎，你忘了你刚刚反而选了一个词条吗？每5秒钟只能施加1层破防或者反复速度。
像我这样小层的一些连携和技能的组合都不能很好的奏效，
会降低非常多。
对，硬着头皮上吧。
哇！
我竟然还点了这样的，就是敌人死后在地上留下了一滩伤害。那这个对我们4个近战的
会掉很多血哦。
对，那对我们这个4个近战的一个物理队来说是有点难处理，
稍微有点难。哎，快出来！哦，你打的这个好艰难啊，海猫，
确实很艰难。
闪呀，你闪呀！
不对，我想起来了，我点了禁止闪避啊，左下角其实已经早有提示啊，我们已经禁止闪避了，所以那面对这样的攻势的话，这个不能躲开敌人攻击的话也非常难处理。
知道禁止闪避的可怕了吧？
确实，而且刚才我还发现我选了个非常难的词条，是我还不能切干远。那我觉得我可以选择放弃，
下把再来。
确实。
哎，海猫，听我一句劝，真的把这个禁止闪避10条拿下吧。
好吧，我觉得确实有点难了，我还是换成更简单的词条。不过啊，我相信以管理员的智慧啊，一定是有办法破解。那我们今天就还是要用刚才的阵容去打，那我们就先这样试一下。但是刚才的大部分词条其实都没有改。这个阵容对于这个词条来说还是比较难打的。那我们看这次能不能逆天改命。
逆天改命。哦，你学会小技巧了啊！
确实，我的手上技能要捏实一点才放出
啊，这样就可以刚好避免加不上的问题。哎，你看，你刚刚这个是你操作菜了啊！
He's getting chunky.
对啊，我已经忘记掉我自己可以闪了，没关系，这个仍然是一种演示。
Literally, it's anytime you've got a mode that's hard, it's going to be HP swell and steroids.
就是使你的技能伤害这些都降低，但是会使你非技能的这些伤害都提高的这么一个。
There are additional mechanics in some things, but we can't say they're making you pull this character for contingency contract. I mean, that's true.
形式不太妙。
But at the same time, I mean, you don't really have a lot of good options.
还好你坚持到，哎呀，你看
You've got Snowshine and you've got
啊，确实
稍微有点不好吃到哎。
So you got Aurora and you've got Ember, and that's it. Really, I mean.
哎呦，
好，打出手诀后释放我小城的大招。不对，我
Catcher, come on,
完全没伤害，
I mean, other than Verna. Verna's using Catcher because he's a 4-star guy, and you know he's going to use Catcher in this, and I hate it for him, for all the misery he's about to suffer through in this mode. But nobody's using Catcher.
你的小神快顶不住了，感觉你
Not
小
when
神快顶不住。哎
Snow
呦，
Shine's
哇，
so
你这样运
free.
气好好，
There's
刚
a
好
catcher
打
main
过了
out there.
对面那个怪物跑过来，但是
I
我感
don't
觉
know how.
就是很艰难呀，就这个，哎呀，哎呀，哎呀。
Mance has the worst kit of any 4-star
不知道
that
我
I've
顶不
seen.
顶得住，只有26点血，只要碰到地上那个毒，
哎呦，哎呦。哎呦，哎呀，想切干也切不了，难受。哎呀啊
Not to mention again, Snow Shine. Yeah, everybody gets Snow Shine. You're absolutely right. Everybody gets Snow Shine for free. There's really, realistically, no reason to go for
还是非
catcher
常
when
挑战，
Snow
而且
Shine
有
is
非
free.
常
That's
多可能会限制到自己干员的一些情况。
like if Aurora can handle it, then there's no reason to go
他
for
会
a
给你上
4-star.
寒冷附
on
着，下面那个指示框很明显。
确实。
哎呦，哎呦，哎呦，没想到还是物理大天使啊！这边怪物对于主控的伤害还是太高了。
确实，我依稀记得我还点了一个主
I
控
think there's
受到
4
伤害
stages here too.
增加的一个词
It
条。
looks like he's on the second stage of 4.
没想到你
Yep,
并位
there's
这里还在
3.
坚持啊！没事儿没事儿，看还有没有？哎呀，这
That's
还不
where
好
it gets
操作失
brutal.
误！
Is
哎呀，
that by
我的拼尽全力无法战胜。
哎
yeah
呦，
by
最后这
stage
个没
3 he
有躲
was
着，差一
already
点点
down to
失
just
衡。
poggers.
哎呀，刚刚海猫拼尽全力还是没有打过呀。没事儿，我来组一个我叫小燃烧队的这么一个队伍吧。这个队伍呢，相比于刚刚一样的词条的情况下，其实会更加合理。哎，等下大家可能就知道为什么会更合理了。
趁着战斗开始
开始之前，其实是可以切干员的。我们先切到佩利卡这边，然后我们开始作战。OK， 第一波小试牛刀，马上就有说法。电 ，OK， 狼位扔，你看，
造成了成吨的伤害。
哎，大家一定好奇为什么刚刚伤害那么高？
Defender battle
那是因为
skills
啊，我
crack
们
that no
狼位
dodge
这个
problem.
触发
Yeah,
出
that's
来的
true.
左右
As
副
long
着，
as
如
you've
果是
got the
碰
SP
到
to
别
cast
的
them,
一些
that's
法式
the
副着，
main
它被
problem.
形成了一个法术异常的话，
You'd wanna
其
have
实
the
是
SP
不
to
会
cast them,
算
but
到
if
刚
you
刚那个
did,
减伤的里
then
面
yeah,
去。所以说我们
absolutely.
可以利用这个特性，尽量多累积一些附着的情况下，利用狼位的这个产生燃烧。
But the problem is you only get 2 triggers
看来
and
靠
you
这套
have
体
to
系的
wait
话，
like
就
a
有
good
可能
amount of
能
time
够
to
很
be
快
able
把
to
怪
get
消灭掉。
refunded, you know?
大家可以看到这么一个大天使通过燃烧伤害加导电的这么一个组合作用，它就迅速的在第一轮很快的被解决掉了。啊，大家可以看到呀，因为佩利卡是远程干员，主控远程干员的时候，小怪的死亡的地点会离佩利卡会是有一定距离的，我们就比较不容易吃到那个地上毒物的这么一个伤害。
确实。
啊！快救我！
I'm seeing
虽然
3
没有伤害
distance
了，但
units
是
and only 1
奶
up
还
close,
在
and that's his
很关
striker.
键啊！这波很关键。哇，这一波是真的有点舒服。我们这边终结技多释放几次之后会没有伤害，但是它的治疗效果还是能够保持下来的。所以说，艾尔加拉在这边的一个终结技其实是非常有用的，能够让我们的容错率大大的提高。
If you've been reading, he switched to focusing on arch reaction damage.
这次我们使用远程，
Yeah, well, it's also distance.
尽量不要靠近他们，等到他们两个都能被上到电磁附着的情况下，我们使用狼位的连接技，给他们两个都转换成燃烧状态，继续利用这个方式。
Because if you look, Perlica attacks from a distance, and then you got Wolfguard who attacks from a distance, and then you've got
最后的破巢之下，他现在已经没有生命值了，一个燃烧伤害。
yeah, Gilberta who attacks from a distance. Not
大家可以
Gilberta,
看到
Ardelia
虽
who
然这个
attacks
词
from
条
a
本身
distance,
非常的
and then
难
you've，got
但只要我们去选出合理的队伍，
yeah.
总有
Anyways,
办法能够
I
战胜它。
digress.
经过我和海猫的这么一番演示，相信大家也对危机合约的玩法有了一定了解。我们的设计初衷是希望各位管理员在自由设置难度、自由搭配队伍以及思考与验证对策中享受战斗的乐趣。像
I'm
刚才
interested
我
to
和海
see
猫
what
的
kind
演
of
示，
modifiers
也
they've
只是
got
其
because
中的
I'm
一
willing to
种的
bet that
玩
they're
法
going to
方
have
式，还
modifiers
有
where you
更
can
多的玩
ban
法与搭配，
specific
正等候着各位管理员们发现。到时候，勇于
characters and
尝试的
stuff.
管理员们可以完成指定任
They have an
务，获得
ultimate
活
do
动
no
快币，
damage
用于
modifier, so
在
they
活动
switched
奖励
to
商店兑换
Ardelia
趁
for
机
healing
遇、
ultimate.
程序的
Yeah.
痕迹等各种奖励。
Um,
虽然我们鼓励挑战精神，但这些奖励嘛，
I
还
didn't
是
see
希
a
望大
timer
家
that I
有种
remember.
还没怎么发
I
力
guess I
就已
couldn't
经得到了
rewind
的
it
感
real
觉
quick.。
而且在本次玩法的活动，它现在已经没
There
有生
is a
命值了，
fucking
一个
timer. Are
燃
you
烧伤害。
serious, dude?
但这些奖
A timer with a ultimate deals no damage modifier sounds like absolute horror
励嘛
to，me.
还是希望大家有种还没怎么发力就已经得到了的感觉。而且在本次玩法的活动期间，管理员们还能看见自己的名片上显示出挑战成功后的最高分数记录，也是希望大家能够在这段时间内留下一些证明，来纪念这份挑战高峰的决心。看到这里啊，可能已经有不少管理员们正在摩拳擦
Wonder how
掌备
Fongi
战
and
危机合
Lavatan
约了。
behave with that
我们会
modifier.
在危机合约玩法正式开启的
Since
前
it's
7天
enhanced
特别
basic
开启
attack,
理
I
智类
assume
活动
it-
危机筹备。
I assume the only thing
管
it
理员
really
们
blocks
在
is
完成
burst
指定任务
damage.
后，除了能获得理智
So
消耗
like
许可
Wolfguard,
和
for
应急
example.
理智加强剂以外，
I assume it
还可
can't.
领取
Maybe
装备
that's
金砖
the
助记
the
和冷
foil for
却
that
纸，
modifier.
希望大家能够玩得尽兴。
Because they would have to block out enhanced basic attack in its entirety if they were going to do that. I don't think they've done that.
接下来，我们将带给各位管理员更多版本活动信息。伴随米芾和卡缪2位新干员加入周末地，我们将以这2位干员为中心，依次开放以下活动。首先便是全副无悔和逐罪者2期特许寻访。米芾和卡缪将分别在对应寻访中获得概率提升。与此同时，我们也为大家准备了2位干员的试用活动，以及配套的7日签到活动：全宇星河与夜区逐罪。登录完成签到，便可累计获得对应寻访的各5张现实寻访凭证的奖励。大家也别忘了前往采购中心的集成配额交易，可兑换对应寻访的5张现实特许寻访凭证。而关于米芾和卡缪的冒险，管理员们也可以在2位干员的叙事活动中亲身体验了。在米芾的叙事活动以全文心中，我们将与他一起迎接3位师傅的复仇之战；而在卡缪的叙事活动《王者之舞》中，我们将和他一起见证血案背后的阴谋与真相。在武器方面武库交易所也陆续上新2把全新的6星武器：双手剑赤鹰以及长柄武器杜红祝福。管理员们可以在降阶森林与染赤森林中申领对应的武器。那装备方面我们也新增了全新的旧分装备组，也对清波装备组与点剑装备组进行了部件更新。我们也将在本次继续上新3种装饰物品，它们包括虎牢关、猩红记忆和龙泡泡气球。据说虎牢关是米芾当时关押某个惹事精专用的设施。那不论是想要还原当时的情景，还是想要自己亲身体验这种被关押的感觉其实都可以。有兴趣的管理员请务必体验一下。猩红记忆是一面承载着卡缪重要回忆与情感的相框，在这份重要的信物前，管理员们可以与卡缪一同分享这份回忆。那有了可自由摆放的龙泡泡气球之后管理员们也可以将它摆放在任意地区，使其成为新的地标建筑。那我们非常欢迎各位管理员尽情发挥创造力，按自己的喜好摆放新的装饰物品。如果有特别满意的摆放效果大家也可以通过拍照分享，我们也会再接再厉，推出更多有趣的装饰物品。此外，新一期里程碑活动协议通行证苍山也将同步上新。解锁对应的协议通行证后管理员们就可以获得自选6星武器补给，包括新增的6星双手剑幻想苦痛和6星长柄武器灯火使命，还有新增的名片主题苍山长气、头像长鸣、头像框剑以衬纹和贴纸剑装等多种奖励等待管理们获取。随着新版本的开启引导活动寻剑幽谷即将开放，欢迎各位管理员前往藏剑谷区域探索，完成解锁协议传送点、开启协议储存箱等任务领取丰厚奖励。在过往的前瞻节目中我们为大家预告过一系列优化改动，也将正式在本次版本中实现。在交互性与易用性方面为让大家的变强之路走得更加顺畅，我们新增了装备的批量精锻功能。当管理员们精锻装备时可以一次性选择多件耗费装备，连续精锻直至精锻成功，减少重复操作。若精锻强化提前成功则会返还本次精锻未耗费的装备和装备精锻注记。我们也观察到部分管理员获取大量武器后无法快捷处理不需要的武器。那针对这一系列问题我们新增了武器批量分解和锁定管理功能。首先我们来介绍一下分解功能。管理员们可以在贵重品库将不需要的非6星武器批量分解为对应品质的武器培养素材，而且在进行武库生理时，当贵重品库的武器数量超过上限时，可以通过自动排放快速跳转到贵重品库进行武器分解。为了防止管理员们不小心分解想要保留的武器，我们还配合推出了锁定管理功能。管理员们可以一键锁定或是解锁全部5星武器，或者解锁超出满潜能数量的5星武器。我们还优化了武器机制的刷取体验。当管理员们刷取武器机制时呢，可以先选定多把心仪武器。如果获得了3个词条都契合心仪武器的无瑕机制，那这个机制呢就会被自动锁定，并且打上完美适配的标记，以便大家能够迅速定位满意的机制。那为了让大家的探索体验更加流畅，我们也增加了区分任务优先级的功能。 在任务列表中啊，当期干员的叙事任务在版本期间的显示顺序更为靠前，而且还增添有版本推荐的标签，以提醒各位管理员及时体验当期版本的新干员任务。此外，我们也优化了手柄和键鼠的操作切换逻辑。我们也在持续打磨操作细节，力求为大家带来更加流畅的切换体验。而地区建设系统啊，也会在主界面新增事务总览。通过这个节点，我们就能够总览物资调度、仓储节点、环境监测等各项建设系统信息，并在地图上快速定位这些系统信息。比如我们现在看到的是锦玉谷的物资调度终端，它的目前等级和升级所消耗的武林调度券已直接显示，管理员们可以快捷跳转至地图界面的对应位置啊，快速前往升级。同时，当管理员看到可购买的物资数量即将溢出的提醒啊，可以点击跳转到对应的物资调度界面，直接进行物资交易，非常方便。另一方面啊，我们也在不断优化集成工业系统。我们这次啊，就为扩容反应池加上了自动处理复数配方阻塞的功能，因为我们发现啊，有部分管理员会遇到扩容反应池阻塞的问题，往往是一台机器内呢设置了多个配方，同时呢多种产物完全堵塞，产物也无法正常运转。为了解决这个问题啊，我们新增了自动处理复数配方阻塞的选项，且默认勾选。那在选项勾选的同时，且因为配方未配平导致多个产物同时阻塞时，扩容反应池会立即清空缓存区，来保证反应的正常进行。同时啊，在扩容反应池作为蓝图被保存时，选项的勾选状态呢也会被保存，这样管理员就可以更加轻松的进行复数配方的生产，不用担忧啊，因为未配平导致一段时间后产物突然阻塞。除了产物阻塞，大停电也是个令人头疼的问题。那以往管理员们的工厂系统越是复杂，大停电导致的工厂停摆更是让大家觉得难以处理。但现在啊，我们增设了备用电源功能，用于紧急供电。当管理员在线时，如果某个地区的电力耗尽，那备用电源将会自动启用，临时为所有设备提供无线电力，尽可能的延长集成工业系统的正常工作时间。那管理员啊，也可以将此选项关闭，可以自由选择备用电源的开启时间。不过备用电源将在启动一段时间后呢耗尽，耗尽之后就需要额外时间来恢复，所以大家可以把备用电源当成一个缓冲，趁备用电源还未耗尽时重新调整电力布局。
Okay, I mean that's fair.
我们还优化了武林的供电逻辑，集成核心区域内的吸氧供电桩与吸氧供电器，现在也可以和外部的吸氧供电桩和吸氧供电器正常连接了。这样管理员在野外拉电线时呢，就能够更加节省供电设备了。
I don't know, dude.
在战斗
The
方面啊，
whole
我
the
们优
whole
化了
system has
屏
gotten
外
out of
敌人
hand.
发起攻击时的预警提示。
They've
希望
gone
今
too
后
far.
管理员与敌人作战时呢，特别是与大量敌人作战时，
Which
可
I
以
get. I
更
mean,
好
you
的
don't
识
want
别
things to
即将
just
来
get
袭的
stale.
攻击，
Like you
并
don't want
进
to
行
just
闪
have, you know.
不仅如此啊，还有系统交互方面的优
Here's
化。
what the factory
我
is
们也
now.
注意到
Just
部分
do
管理
this
啊，
over and
希望
over.
在拜访
But
好友后啊，还是直接返回自己的地
I mean,
账
like,
号。于是呢，我们额外新
the
增
stair
了返回
step
地账号
up
的选
was
项。
already
那以后
enough,
管理员
and
在
then
结束
they
拜访
took
好友后，
another
可以
giant
自由选
leap,
择
like
返回地
6
点，
stairs
既
up.
可以选择结束拜访，返回原先的位置，也可以返回地账号。还有啊，为了减轻管理员们的日常负担，
Granted, it's not going to
我
go
们
up
也调整了
again,
当前的日
but
常任务，包括提升了部分任
I
务
think
的
they
可
also
获
did
得
it
活
way
跃度
too fast.
降
They
低
should
了
have
部分任
probably
务的
held
完
the
成难度
most
以及
recent
新增任
update.
务。例
Um,
如啊，
and
此前每
material
日
and all
消
that
耗
stuff.
60
They
理
should
智
have
和
probably
120
held all
理
that
智
stuff for
可以
1.4
分别
or
获得
1.5.
10
Like
点
they
活
should
跃
have
度。
just given a
现
couple
在呢，
versions
任
to
务条
ride
件不
instead
变，
of
但
upping
可
the
获得的
ante
活跃度
after
呢
every
提
one.
升至了20。此前
Another
每日
giant
累
leap
计
in
击败20
1.4.
个敌人才可以获得20 点
Well,
活跃
that's
度。
probably going to be the
现在
filter
同等
that
活跃度啊，只
completely
需击败10
finishes
个敌
me
人
if that's
就
the
可以
case
获得
then,。because
而之所以这样调
I'm
整，
telling
是
you
因为我
now,
们
if
发现啊，
there's
有
if
不
there's
少管理
more,
员在
which
过
I
往
don't know how there could be,
通
but
过
if
刷
there
机
was,
制完
I'd
成自己
be
日常任务的。
I'll be
但在
done.
可刷取机制的所有点位
It's
中啊
not，worth
有一部
it.
分点位的敌人是少于
1.3
20
just rides, I
那
think.
导
No
致
new
部分管
AIC
理员
plan.
无法
Yeah.
一次性完成这些
Yeah.
任务。于是啊，我们将任
There
务中的
should
敌人数
be.
量
I
下
mean,
调，
the
那这样
AIC
大家
is
也许
the
在
next
刷
time
某
we
些
should
机制
see
的时候，
AIC
只需要
changes
刷一
should
次机制
be
就能够快速完成
with
任
the
务，
next
获得每日
area,
奖励
and。hopefully what they'll do
此
is
外
they'll set
我们还
the
新
stage
增了
back to
2个日常
0.
任务，管理员们在地江号
So
收集
what
一
they'll
次
do is
产
they'll
物
start
或
with
者是
something
线索，
simple and they'll
以及
build
在
up like
任
they
意
did
地
with
区
this
物
one,
资
but
调度处
hopefully
购
they'll
买
space it out a
团体
little
修物
better,
资
right?
即可获得
Because they
20活跃
need
度
to。give players that aren't used to this kind of stuff time to acclimate before they just drop it all. Granted, I'm the guy that literally just kind of copies your blueprints at this point, Ron, but the fact of the matter is, my factories have not run in weeks, and I have no clue what's wrong because I don't understand the system well enough. Because I'm using blueprints. That's the problem. I shouldn't have to use blueprints. I should be able to literally sit down and read and understand across my 3 sites what the hell is going on. And I probably could, but the problem is that it would take me hours to do it. And I've got those hours are better spent on other things, catching up on Honkai, catching up on Wuwa, playing one of my 90 gachas, finishing the story mode for NTE. There's so many things that just pile on.
组成先锋队伍，以封锁武林盛大裂隙为目标。
That sitting down and trying to figure out why the hell my factory isn't producing a couple of weapon parts or armor parts is just not high on my concern list.
直面旧日幻影与掩藏其中的真相。
Even if it means I won't be able to
在等待着各位管理员。
manufacture armor in the
在主线
future.
剧情之外，也会有一位新面孔即将到来。 在舞台上，他是闪耀的人气偶像。当帷幕落下，他又在管理员面前展露怎样的本性呢？那也请各位管理员在未来一起感受了。那这个版本的新内容啊，也会非常多。首先是这个版本将会为管理员带来2张新地图，管理员们也会继续深入主线章节，体验这2张全新的主线地图。而且啊，我们也希望让大家在今年的每个版本中都能够体验到新地图，也会有新的。 禁区，北部禁区这片被神秘瘴气笼罩的区域本身即是巨大的挑战。我们将在此迎接全新的特殊地图玩法与机制，直面旧日幻影与掩藏其中的真相。不知道有什么样的危机在等待着各位管理员。在主线剧情之外，也会有一位新面孔即将到来。在舞台上，他是闪耀的人气偶像。当帷幕落下，他又在管理员面前展露怎样的本性呢？那也请各位管理员在未来一起感受了。 那这个版本的新内容啊也会非常多。首先是这个版本将会为管理员带来2张新地图，管理员们也会继续深入主线章节，体验这2张。
I'm trying to think of anybody. You know, she almost reminds me of like Haruka a little bit.
我们也希望让大家在今年的每个版本中都能够体验到新地图，也会有新的剧情内容供大家体验。那更多的活动内容呢和玩法也正在筹备之中，敬请期待。那么除了地图之外啊，集成工业系统在未来版本也会迎来迄今为止最大的一次更新。 我们将引入全新的工业形态气体。我们计划通过新科技的引入，帮助管理员们简化部分产物的生产逻辑。在未来啊，通过新的科技与设备以及新的开采点类型，大家将会比以往更快、更简便地获得如锡壤、褐铜块之类的产物了。希望新科技在为工厂建设带来更多乐趣的同时呢，也能够大大便利大家的工业发展。管理员们也能够以此为基础啊，更方便地探索新产物的制造。 此外，我们也会在后续的版本新地图中增加更多的矿物开采点，希望能够给管理员带来更多的产线自由度，并且降低兑换调度件的压力。活动方面呢，我们也将上新根脉奇境，在这个趣味玩法中啊，管理员们可以穿梭在充满机关的地图中，体验各种特殊机制的战斗，收集迷之残块，完成指定任务，从而获得奖励。 其实啊，在公测上线时呢，我们就计划对拍照系统进行优化了。那么在未来版本中啊，我们打算正式实现管理员拍照动作与站位的自定义功能。今后啊，管理员们在拍照时啊，可以自由移动当前场上的干员，并且指定可选动作，结合布置好的装饰物品，一起拍下更好玩、更好看的照片。除此之外，我们还计划在各方面增加新功能，以及提升各位管理员的游玩体验。 比如装饰物品系统的正式上线，我们将新增独立页面，方便大家管理装饰物品。那这样一来啊，装饰物品将不再占用大家的背包、仓库，还有进度化中虽然有一次适应功能的添加，以及一些全新增的玩法，都在等待与大家见面。当然，未来版本的优化也是即将入场，例如俯瞰模式下多个常见目标的选择优化，多模式设备呢也可以在放置时呢切换模式，管道流动表现的优化。 以及使用共享滑手之后呢，还可以自动维护等等。我们也会根据大家的反馈，持续调优现有的集成工业系统。中国的潜入啊，仍在延伸， 谢谢迄今
they're
为止
going
与
to
我们
want
同行
to
的管理
switch
员
to a
们，
new location.
你们的支持与热情就是我们仍然在认真制作、
And
不
when
懈
they
分享的理
do,
由。
it's going to present
正是在
a
大家的
major
陪伴下
problem.，
我们才有机会将游戏内容打磨得越来越丰富，才有机会持续成长。我们有长足的信心，在第一线倾听大家的意见，在第一时间调整优化，以第一标准完善游戏体验，也有决心在未来继续满足大家的期待。那么到这里啊，今天的分享就已经接近尾声了，再次感谢大家的观看，也期待我们下次再见，拜拜。
Okay. I don't know. I like to think at the end of Wuling, the Wuling AIC plan becomes persistent. I don't think so. I mean, listen, if they're building towards that and the AIC plan becomes persistent across sites and versions, that's great. But I want you to remember what happened when we left Valley 4. Like, when we left Valley 4, we had all of this build-up to get to this final product. And then we took that final product, and it was the basis of the next product. So that's the thing that worries me. They can make us need to re-unlock hydro miners, etc. Yeah, and I think they probably will. But the problem is, I think all of the stuff that we're doing right now for this top tier material, that's the stuff we're going to have to do for the basic material of the next area. That's what worries me, right? Because that's one position they could take and one way they could go. They could also go the way you're talking about as an alternative, where they just straight put us in there. You already know everything you need. Now you just have to unlock it. Just Farum. Yes. Okay. Yes. Wuling didn't use Christen or Steel. Just Farum. Okay. That's a fair point. I'm misremembering, I guess, because it's been a while and I haven't really checked things. So yes, you're right. I guess technically we didn't use Christen or Steel. We used Farum. So yeah, if that's the case, then maybe, let's see here. What was we had Cuprium, right? Cuprium's the other mineable ore. So we're going to start the next area with Cuprium, essentially. Cuprium will be the base, if it follows the trend that it did with the transition from Valley 4 to Wuling, correct? So if that's the case, the water miners will be the first things we unlock, and after that we go and have to farm out the Cuprium. There will probably be Originium, because Originium is going to be important no matter where you're at. It doesn't matter what you're doing, what area you're in, everything like that. You don't see Shiranite being a thing at all, though. Cuprium will probably carry over, though. Yeah, so we're in agreement. Cuprium's going to be the material. That'll be the thing that we're mining there. So yeah, again, I feel like they've pushed things just too far. You know, we're talking about gas now. We're talking about, we got all the they put the water in and that was fine, but now we've got precipitation acid that we also have to contend with, and on top of precipitation acid, guess what? There's sludge that we have to get rid of. But by the way, you don't want to get rid of the sludge because you're going to need to use it in your manufacturing. Otherwise, you're just screwed. But at the same time, sometimes you need to purify it. So you've got a purifier now. Again, this is all... The new gases seem to be involved in making heatonite too. Yeah, so again, I just... They're going too far with this for marginal increases. It'd be one thing if the new armor we were getting was just better stats-wise, if it was elevated stats-wise, or if it offered special effects that were just completely night and day from the last tier, but it doesn't. It's literally the exact same stats, the exact same types of effects as the old armor sets. Now, is it best in slot for current main character on Banner? Yes, but the problem is that the performance upgrade that it gives is minimal, if even applicable at all. That's where the issue comes in. For me, like, the effort has to equal out to the reward. If I have to do more effort, the reward should be higher. I've said this with Destiny Rising. I've said this with every game I've ever played. If the effort that I have to put in, if I have to spend an hour reading a goddamn manual to learn how to do this stuff, by the end of that hour, when I know what I'm doing, I had better be getting armor that has better stats than what it currently has. What's currently available from the present suite. That had better be what's happening there. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, so. Alright. I got stuff to do. I'm cutting the stream at this point. Y'all have a good day. See you later.